Center.
Let's go with the thicker green outfit today, gang. It's chilly for St. Patty's Day. 37 for the high, which is about 20 degrees colder than normal for this time of year. Plenty of sunshine this morning, but clouds on the increase this afternoon and tonight as a quick clipper system scoots in. Some light snow, light rain showers around tonight, but temperatures actually climbing slowly as a warm front moves through, so no accumulation, no travel impacts. Mid to upper 30s early Wednesday, and then another spring warm-up kicks in. We'll be at 64 tomorrow afternoon. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Coffee? Check. Partisan hack talking points? Nope, not here. This is Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Here's an interesting question. Are there some shenanigans going on in the race for county executive in St. Charles County? And I'm not just asking that question so I have an excuse to say shenanigans on the radio. Susie got an interesting phone call the other day, and it was recorded. We've got the voicemail from it. So we're going to play that for you and love to get your thoughts on that. Hey, good morning. Mike Ferguson here. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for making us a part of your morning. Of course, obviously, around the world, we've got the Iran war. We've also got, debates in the U.S. Senate over the Save America Act, all kinds of things going on. And as we often do on Mondays, we had our conversation with Congressman Bob Onder to bring us up to date on what's happening and, frankly, more importantly, what's not happening right now. Here's what he had to tell us. Lines are piling up at the airports. Your gas is getting more expensive. I think there's a lot of people saying, all right, so even if those who are on board, okay, what's the plan to finish the goal and extract and get things back to normal? Well, we're now visiting with Congressman Bob Onder. And the longer we go, we're in day 17 now, I think it is 16 or 17 at this point, Bob. And a lot of people are saying, okay, we get you can't put an end date and restrain yourself and compromise your strategy. You completely understand that. But, the administration has said this is going to be a short-lived operation. So how do you assess how it's going right now? And is there a danger of this expanding if we don't wrap up whatever the military goals are right away?
Well, good morning. It's great to be back. Yes, I think militarily the operation's going really well so far. 6,000 targets have been hit, according to the Department of War, including 65 naval vessels. Clearly, the United States and Israel control the air, control the sea, can really hit pretty much any Israeli target at will. But it doesn't take much with that very narrow Strait of Hormuz for the Iranians to shut that down. They hit something like 16 tanker ships in the last week. But I hope that the president's assessment that it's going to be pretty short-lived, that things will end and get back to normal pretty quickly will prove to be the case. Trump's calling on our allies to help us with naval escorts for the tanker ships, but it's hard to say. It could be a while because it doesn't. These drones and missiles, they're relatively cheap compared to the anti-missile aircraft or missiles that we have to launch. So no, it could go on. In the meantime, of course, it's had its impact already on the price of oil. We're over $100 a barrel. We all see the higher prices at the pump. So I hope and pray that the conflict is short-lived, as the president has suggested.
Bob, one of the issues that's come up in the past couple of days, and I know saw being discussed on the Sunday shows, and we were talking about it here earlier, is the fact that the administration has temporarily lifted the sanctions on Russian oil. And I obviously understand the reason. You want to free up the supply as much as possible, but of course then that opens you up to criticism of you're basically doing a favor for Russia. What's your response to that?
I think it's to stabilize the world oil market. It makes sense to bring any supply online that you can, but clearly embargo on Russian oil is one of the major points of leverage the United States and NATO had against Putin over the Ukrainian war. So it's a tough call. I don't know the exact effect leaving Russian oil offline would have had, but clearly the president and his advisors made that calculation and decided to go ahead and let the Russians go ahead and sell oil again.
We're visiting with Congressman Bob Onder. Secretary Bessent said late last week, we've got all the money we need to execute the war. Speaker Mike Johnson has said, as you know, that at some point the administration is going to have to come for some sort of supplemental appropriation for this. At some point, if this continues, Congress is going to have to be involved, at least when it comes to funding. At what point do you think is the right time for Congress to have a say in this? I mean, considering that, Congress constitutionally is the one that's supposed to declare war in the first place. At what point do you have a role in the decision making as compared to just the commander in chief, the president, running things unilaterally?
Yep. Yeah. Under Article 1 of the Constitution, Congress has the power of the purse, and at the same time, every year, including the most recent budget bills, Congress appropriates a certain amount of money to the military. So essentially, it will be when the bills come due, when the Pentagon has to place more orders for missiles and so on. And I can't imagine that would be much more than a month or two out. I hope the conflict's over by then.
Right. Bob, the House already did its part, and even though that it may be a little tricky for some members to get back to D.C. With the weather and stuff, all eyes are on the Senate about the Save America Act at this point. It's up to them to see if they can get that done. I know they're going to be taking some votes, and there's going to be some discussion about it on the Senate floor. What's your read on the situation as far as the likelihood of them being able to get it done?
Yeah, that's right, Susie. The House passed the SAVE Act last year, and then the Save America Act a couple of weeks ago, and it is finally going to the Senate floor. There will be a vote first on the House version of the Save America Act that we just passed. That is likely not to prevail unless a lot of Democrats really have an epiphany. And then the Senate will proceed to debate on a Senate version of the same bill, and various amendments will be offered. It's our understanding that the White House has tapped our good friend, Senator Eric Schmidt, to offer some of the friendly amendments to the Save America Act, things like protecting kids from transgender surgery, protecting women's sports, limiting mail-in ballots. But I don't think any of those things have 60 votes, because the Democrats will likely be united in opposition. So it's going to be a tough road. So this is the start of what we would call a talking filibuster. And we'll see how long the Democrats hold out. They too can offer amendments that they feel will be embarrassing to swing state Republicans. It will be really interesting to watch this play out. But I don't know, without some sort of elimination or modification of the filibuster, or doing the SAVE Act through reconciliation, I'm not sure I'm too optimistic about the chances of doing it using the procedure that the Senate will be using this week.
Okay, now another thing, obviously, the Democrats have dug in on is the funding for Department of Homeland Security and that aspects of it. Obviously, Susie was talking about a lot of people not able to get to Washington because of the weather, but we're seeing lines, including you. Yeah, welcome back home. But when you look at lines are piling up at a lot of key hub airports, and it doesn't look like that's going to go away anytime soon. What kind of effect are we looking at overall if this continues? I mean, we've seen the funding go out before. I saw Sean Duffy say that hundreds of TSA officers have quit. Basically, they're tired of not knowing when they're going to get paid or not get paid. So what's at stake as this continues? Because it just doesn't look like, from an outsider's perspective, Bob, that the Democrats are easing up, and you're no closer to getting this resolved between the two sides.
Yeah, it looks like the Democrats are hunkered down. Once again, the Democrats are putting illegal aliens first over American citizens. It's been 30 days now of the second Schumer shutdown. Again, we're seeing flight delays all over the country. Votes were canceled today because of the winter storm and anticipated flight delays. Even though the weather's here pretty good here in St. Louis, my plane was not available, so I had to turn around and go back home just today. In Houston, they're recommending passengers arrive 4 hours early for their flights. But even more concerning is that just in the last week, we had 2 terrorist attacks, one in Virginia, one in Michigan. So the Democrats, at a time America is effectively at war, and that Iran has made clear that they want their proxies around the world to attack the United States, the Democrats are shutting down the Department of Homeland Security. Yeah, not to mention the inhumanity of forcing all these federal workers, 270,000 of them, to go without paychecks. But this tells you just how much Democrats want to modify the United States immigration laws that they could never get changed on their own, but they're inflicting pain on the American people in order to effect de facto amnesty for millions of illegal aliens. It's really shameful.
All right, Congressman Bob Onder, obviously Save America Act this week to vote. What else do we need to be kind of watching for in the headlines? I know that I don't think there's anything with the Chloe Cole Act this week, is there?
Well, we've been, my office has been talking to Senator Schmitz. I'm hoping that the amendment that Senator Schmidt offers will be the Chloe Cole Act, but we'll see what decision is made there. But I've spoken with Chairman Jordan. I'm hopeful we can get a markup soon and then get the Chloe Cole Act out to the House floor.
Okay, 314-912-1019. Just a little bit here. I don't know, maybe 620, 635, something like that. We're gonna play the message that Susie got on the phone. It looks like there might be some shenanigans going on with the race for county executive in St. Charles County. Yeah, this is interesting. We'll talk about that still ahead right here on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Free speech is alive and well in America right here.
It's about time somebody stood up for true American values.
What this country needs is some backbone.
Finally, a president who wants to make real change.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Columbo here for my friends at Bluff City Outdoors in Alton. The knowledgeable staff at Bluff City has served the St. Louis outdoor community for decades, and they can take care of all your bow hunting needs, all your trapping needs, all your fishing needs, and more. Plus, while you're there, you can schedule a trip with a local fishing guide and shoot in their archery range. Bluff City Outdoors is open 7 days a week, 1 mile east of Fast Eddie's at 2813 East Broadway in Alton. Follow them on Facebook and at BluffCityOutdoors.com.
Dozens of out-of-state law firms are crashing into St. Louis trying to get your business. My advice, rely on a hometown firm. Under Law has been here for years. There are lawyers raising their families right alongside yours. And when you're injured by someone's careless actions, you are entitled to full compensation. You want lawyers who will not bend to big insurance, but will stand defiantly protecting you. Under Law, O-N-D-E-R, underlaw.com. Under wins.
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you.
800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. That's 800-439-7851. People ask all the time, who the heck is Low Cost Airlines? Well, we're not just one airline. When you're talking to us, you're talking to everyone. We are the discount supermarket for all airline tickets. Plus, we have all the airlines and always have the best prices. American, Delta, United, plus all the specialized international airlines and a lot more. And we make it easy. We guarantee you'll talk to a live human in 60 seconds. You can have the rate you need and have your trip booked in 5 minutes. Now, how cool is that? And remember, when you're talking to us, it's like talking to every single airline available with one fast phone call. All you need to do is call and find the best prices to fly wherever it is you want to go. So are you ready? Call Low Cost Airlines right now. 800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. That's 800-515-2397.
Get up, St. Louis. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Okay, so St. Louis police are not done with the 314-day nonsense.
Oh.
Yeah, they want to make arrests. They're still going after, because apparently this was bigger than what we realized yesterday. Not just multiple places all over the city, but the police put out a statement, and they said there were some instances of police cars responding to emergencies because of all of the nonsense that was going on. Cars surrounded, people surrounding the cop cars, blocking them from going, basically, impeding law enforcement. And so between the body cams and the cell phones of the officers, they got pictures of a bunch of people who did it. And they've posted them on social media and said, we'd like tips, please. Call Crime Stoppers, call the non-emergency line. And if you go to the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department's social media pages, they've got the pictures of these people up there, many. And so they are not done with it. And this would be a change of pace because in the city, garbage happens. And unless somebody, got shot, and even then they didn't prosecute that hard, in years past, they would just say, well, I guess they got away with it. Let's move on. It's not what they're doing right now.
You done goofed.
Yeah. So now, is there going to be a rush of people in St. Louis calling in there? No. And what's interesting is you would think, because I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, yeah, usual suspects. We know what they're all going to look like. No, you don't. It's a little bit of everybody. It wasn't just urban core. There were apparently people from all over, showing up there to make a bunch of trouble. So, it's interesting. I was looking through some of the pictures, and I'm like, the only thing is they all look like losers, but it's a diverse set of losers.
I mean, nothing brings people together like degeneracy sometimes.
So true. My goodness.
Oh, Lord.
But turns out, obviously, several shootings happened, and I was confused on the statements that were made by police on one of the shootings where I said there was a 14-year-old girl involved, but that's what they had said. I didn't know whether she was a victim or whether she was the one firing shot. Well, it turns out she got shot. A 14-year-old girl got shot. Now, I don't, she's going to make it looks like. But that was among the shootings. There were some 20-something-year-old guys as well. But we're just now getting kind of the idea of how chaotic this was throughout several parts of the city. So David Amilati from our friends over at Channel 4 here, he actually sat down with Attorney General Catherine Hanaway to talk about this. He also talked with Police Chief Robert Tracy as well. But I thought one of the things was interesting is Catherine Hanaway's assessment, and it shows you how much things have changed since voters kicked Tashara Jones out of office. Here's part of what the Attorney General had to say.
Who bears responsibility for preventing a night like this? I mean, is it city officials? Is it police? Is it state leadership?
I think we all have to own some of it. And I think that St. Louis is going to get safer because we have a prosecutor, a mayor, a police chief, a U.S. attorney, an attorney general, and a governor who are all committed to reducing violent crime. It was a terrible weekend, but the trend line is getting slightly better. We should not at all take solace from that. What we should do is, since we have this great cooperation now, we should step on the gas harder.
Okay, so you've got Republican state leaders talking about this great cooperation with Democratic leaders in the city. That would have been unheard of a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. I'm in disbelief just listening to it right now.
Right. So we've got a little bit more from that discussion. The news dump coming up here in just a couple minutes. But putting down the gas now, some of the things the Attorney General said in that discussion, which, by the way, you can find on KMOV's YouTube page. It's like a 9-minute segment. There's Robert Tracy, then there's Catherine Hanaway. And part of what she's describing, and she says right in there, some people are not going to like this. She calls it the spit on the sidewalk enforcement, basically start intervening early. Well, that's kind of like what Giuliani did in New York City back in the day. You know, basically you start going after people for any infraction, and then what you're going to do is clean up your city. Well, a lot of people aren't going to like that. I got mixed feelings on it myself, but, you know, basically what she's saying is if the parents aren't going to intervene, then we're going to start intervening, and we're going to, deal with it early on. So that can be done maybe in ways you could argue are right, but it could also go very, very wrong if it's too much.
I mean, the unfortunate matter at hand is that there are people that don't have any discipline or any supervision or anybody to be accountable to, and then they walk around and organize events like this, thinking they can get away with it. So if the parents aren't going to step involved and the schools can't get involved, it's up to the state.
I wouldn't trust St. Louis public schools to intervene in anything. They can't even intervene in education and teach kids how to read. Yeah, there's so much intervening in people's lives, that's for sure. Interesting times ahead, we'll put it that way.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Never paint again with Rhino Shield. Listen to what a couple of happy customers have to say.
My family's business is over 10,000 square feet, and it did not have the curb appeal I wanted. Our building was really faded. You came out, you gave me all of these options that would fit my building. I don't want to have to paint my building again. 25 years is a long time to not have to worry about the outside maintenance of your building as far as paint. That's a no-brainer. That's why Rhino Shield worked for me.
What a wonderful job they did. It's beautiful. They were very thoughtful, kind, considerate guys. Appreciate all the work that these two young men did.
Call Rhino Shield, 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work. Real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. That's 800-515-2397.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-240-4586. 800-240-4586. That's 800-240-4586.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at
NewsTalkSTL.com.
Hour from Town Hall. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. President Trump is expressing frustration with the response of other countries to his demand that they help police the Strait of Hormuz, which is critical to global oil shipping.
Some are countries that we've helped for many, many years. We've protected them from horrible outside sources, and they weren't that enthusiastic. And the level of enthusiasm matters to me.
Bahrain reports it has been targeted by more drone attacks from Iran, and a separate strike in the United Arab Emirates sparked a fire at an oil tank farm. Israel says it has killed the head of a force within the Iranian Revolutionary Guard that suppresses demonstrations in the Islamic Republic. More than 2 weeks into the war against Iran, the Pentagon says 13 U.S. service members have been killed and about 200 wounded. Hundreds of flights are canceled or delayed today after strong storms dumped snow in the Midwest and brought high winds to the east.
And on top of that, a partial government shutdown affecting airport security screeners dragged into a second month. The disruptions come at an already challenging time for air travel, in part because the shutdown that began February 14 has strained staffing at some security checkpoints. At the same time, airports are crowded with spring break travelers and fans heading to March Madness games.
That's Bill Alexander reporting. Federal health officials say at least 7 people in 3 states have been sickened by E. coli food poisoning linked to cheddar cheese made from raw milk. More than half of the illnesses were in young children. Officials in Cuba report an island-wide blackout as its energy and economic crises deepen. The island has not received oil shipments in more than 3 months. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If your investments are in a 401k or an IRA, then listen carefully. You spent 30, maybe 40 years building your retirement. The question is, are you about to watch it take a hit you can't recover from? Military escalation in Iran, tariffs and legal chaos, the U.S. dollar under pressure it hasn't seen in years. History is clear. When this much uncertainty hits at once, the investors who moved into gold and silver first came out ahead. Right now, Advantage Gold is offering a free gold investment kit and a free copy of economist Ken Rogoff's powerful new book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000. Thousands of Americans have already rolled over a portion of their 401k or IRA into physical gold and silver, completely tax and penalty free through Advantage Gold. Don't wait for the next surge to wish you had moved sooner. Results vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Correspondent Julie Walker reports
from the Michael's Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Let's go with the thicker green outfit today, gang. It's chilly for St. Patty's Day. 37 for the high, which is about 20 degrees colder than normal for this time of year. Plenty of sunshine this morning, but clouds on the increase this afternoon and tonight as a quick clipper system scoots in. Some light snow, light rain showers around tonight, but temperatures actually climbing slowly as a warm front moves through, so no accumulation, no travel impacts. Mid to upper 30s early Wednesday, and then another spring warm-up kicks in. We'll be at 64 tomorrow afternoon. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at serenityltc.com.
Looking for a hardware store that treats you like family? Welcome to True Value Schneider's Hardware, your local gem in Old Town St. Peters. For over 100 years, we're proudly serve you St. Charles County, providing everything from lawn and garden supplies to plumbing and electrical. Need a bolt or fastener? We've got you covered. And don't forget, we're a steel dealership. Whether you need sales, parts, or service, ask for Charlie or Jerry when you come in. We're here to help. Call 636-278-4461 or visit us online at truevalue.com/Snyder's.
Jamie Allman here, tossing and turning over retirement worries. You're not alone. 3 out of 4 Americans share your concern about having enough saved. But here's the thing. A comfortable retirement isn't out of reach, even if you're planning for 30 or 40 years ahead. Every day, Jeff Portman from the Gemini Wealth Group helps people avoid the critical mistakes that can derail their retirement. Build your path to financial confidence. Visit GeminiWealthGroup.com or call Jeff directly at 314-888-0123.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA, SIPC.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
I listen to NewsTalkSTL on the app driving to work.
Download the NewsTalkSTL app.
You got to get the NewsTalkSTL app.
Love the app. Can listen anywhere in St. Louis.
And listen anytime.
NewsTalkSTL right on my phone.
Anywhere. Mike Ferguson.
Is there anything in your life that is not Trauma Olympics?
Susie Moore.
Get out of here and stop playing victim.
Get up, can't you hear the alarm?
Get up, St. Louis.
There's no crying in baseball.
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
All right, state resources may have to be used to step in to help the city deal with the violence.
Well, I guess that's not terribly surprising.
Right. Not surprising, and I'm not even certain. I mean, it's not a good thing, but I'm not certain that it's necessarily a bad thing if the momentum's going the right way.
Right.
I was saying that basically 2 or 3 years ago, that investment might have been wasted. I'm not sure it would be wasted now, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it does make sense.
And also, St. Louis County is going to consider a formal declaration opposing a merger with the aforementioned city.
Oh.
That's going to be interesting, yeah.
Oh.
Team USA plays for the championship tonight. Got the details about that. And Susie wins St. Patty's Day for the morning show right here. If you're looking at on the streaming, if you're not, that is a green shamrocky sweater right there, sweatshirt right there. Mm-hmm. And Jerome comes in second place because he's got his green pants on. I have one green thing, like a T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I have one green T-shirt, and it was 20 degrees when I left my place this morning.
Because you're Scottish, not Irish.
I'm Scottish because I'm Scottish, not Irish. Although they say everybody. Well, see, my family was what they call Scotch-Irish.
Scotch-Irish, yep.
We're actually Scottish, but we went to a place called Ulster, Ireland, when the famine and wars and stuff broke out, and then actually came to the U.S. from Ulster. So we were called Ulster Scots.
Yep,
is what they called my version of Ferguson's.
Right. So you should have something green.
I've got the T-shirt.
So you're not wearing anything green right now?
You can pinch him.
I have to check my boxers.
Get him, Susie.
I'm not going to
check.
You're closer than I am. Get him.
Yeah, we won't tell HR. I had to check my boxers. I don't remember which ones I grabbed.
No,
it was dark.
Leave us out of
saying.
that.
Okay. All right. It's 6:07. On that note, let's go ahead and start with the news dump.
Successful dump. Wake up, America. It all worked out.
They got all the news.
The morning news dump.
I'm just saying the pinching depends on who and where. That's all I'm saying. That's
all I know is I'm immune.
You're immune. Yeah, you're good. You're good. All right. St. Louis City Police are looking for those involved in the 314-day violence, including surrounding police cars and stopping cops from assisting others. That happened too, it turns out.
Hey.
Yeah. KMOV's David Amilati spoke with Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway about the weekend violence, which did include several shootings.
What does this say about the current state of public safety in St. Louis?
Well, I think it says a couple of things. Number one, that we don't have enough police officers. We are still down considerably, hundreds of officers from full strength, and that we're not paying those men and women enough, which is why there's such a hard time recruiting them. But we have men and women who dedicate their lives to serving us. And when something like this happens, and it happens all over the city, there's violence all over the city this weekend. There's these quote-unquote slideshows. There's fireworks being set off. There's no way that a minimized force can take care of everything. It also says mom and dad have to be more involved in parenting.
And St. Louis police have posted several pictures of suspects on social media asking for tips. They're looking to make arrests in this.
Yeah. Well, rightly so.
Yep, they do. Also, city officials are considering changes to the curfew for minors, possibly starting this weekend, moving it up.
And how are they going to enforce it?
That was exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, well, that's great, but I get to work at, 3:15, 3:30 in the morning, and when we were downtown still, that curfew wasn't being enforced. I saw kids running around all over the place downtown. Yeah, just saying. All right, the St. Louis County Council is going to consider a resolution opposing any possible city-county merger. Councilman Dennis Hancock, who, as you know, running for county executive, is proposing that at tonight's meeting. Current executive Sam Page, who is not running for re-election while facing criminal charges, is suggesting adding the city back into the county. The great divorce between the city and the county happened in 1876.
So 150 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting that the council is basically saying to Sam Page,
yeah,
thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, assuming they vote on it tonight.
Well,
it's just going to be, proposed.
Do we get a sense of whether or not there's support for it among the majority of the council?
All they need is one Democrat
right.
to say, I'm not on board with this. And I think there's a couple of them that might be on board with that. So we're going to talk to Dennis later this week because there's a chance they're going to debate it tonight. They may or may not vote on it.
Right.
So this may be something that's percolating. So we're going to talk to Dennis. I think we're probably going to talk to him on Thursday here on the show. All right. It is primary day in Illinois. Among the main elections of interest to conservatives would be the Republican race for governor. 4 candidates are on the GOP ballot, with the 2 main ones being former state senator Darren Bailey and former WirePoints executive Ted Dabrowski. Winner faces off against J.B. Pritzker in November.
Lucky them. Yeah, you know what? I having spent a lot of time with my mom in the past few weeks watching local television, I know she's going to be very glad that the ads will be done after today. Those were annoying.
You know, the ones I've seen the most is in the Senate race, J.B. Pritzker pushing Stratton.
Mm-hmm.
And
and
he's all over the place, my endorsement means a lot. Well, in Chicago probably does. Downstate, they hate you, JB. Nobody likes you.
Yeah. That one's like every other second.
Constantly, yeah. All right, President Trump speaking with reporters on Monday, saying that he is calling on other countries to help the U.S. defend the Strait of Hormuz from Iranian attacks. The president says the U.S. and other countries rely on the oil that flows through that strait, obviously, for the economy, saying Iran is going to continue to use the strait as an economic weapon during the war. The president also claims he's already heard from some countries that are interested in helping the U.S.
Numerous countries have told me they're on the way. Some are very enthusiastic about it, and some aren't. Some are countries that we've helped for many, many years. We've protected them from horrible outside sources, and they weren't that enthusiastic.
Yeah, because there's a lot of tankers and oil companies that are basically saying, I don't know if we want to risk our ship, our tanker through there. Because that's just a key area. They just geographically have to get the oil through there to get for distribution.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of up in the air right now, a lot of concern, that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, to me, it would make the most sense that you would want to kind of lock arms with your allies and say, all right, we're not going to let this group bully us and keep us from, our commerce.
Yeah, and that's really about all Iran has right now. Yeah, at the moment. So it's going to be, I would not be surprised if we see some sort of movement on that even today, some sort of announcement. All right. If you know somebody who hates America, says they want out, you heard those people, you see them online all the time.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Let them know it's now cheaper to follow through with that.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't know there was a cost associated
with
that.
There is a cost. I didn't know that either.
I mean, other than travel, but.
Right. No, there is a cost. The U.S. State Department has cut the fee to renounce your citizenship by 80%.
Bargain basement prices.
That's right. Instead, let me take that approach to it. Instead of $2,350, you can now become a not American for the low price of $450, which covers the administrative cost of the change.
That's a steal, guys.
It's a steal. If you want to leave America because you hate America, then you can do it, and we are cutting the cost. You can go without any obligation whatsoever. Just get out.
Go. Fly. Be free.
Yeah.
Don't play Freebird, but be free.
Yeah, just saying. So contact your local friendly State Department, and they will be happy to make you a not American.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right, a couple things on sports here. Team USA takes on Venezuela for the World Baseball Classic Championship tonight.
And to the victor go the oil spoils?
Yeah, pretty much. If they start to be too much trouble, I think we're going to invade their dugout and take their pitcher away.
Are there any charges pending against any of their players?
Yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Check.
We're just saying. All right. Venezuela beat Italy 4-2 last night in the semifinal. Okay, so first pitch tonight in the championship. By the way, this is happening in Miami. 7 o'clock hour time. That game's going to be on Fox, so on Channel 2. It's been fascinating to see how a lot of the baseball players, including some of the American baseball players, are saying this thing feels bigger than the World Series.
It's wild.
It really is. I love it. I think it is great for the game of baseball, and I love the fact that this is such a big deal this year.
Seems like they're kind of drafting off the Olympics high.
A little bit, and baseball's back in the Olympics later this year.
Exactly.
All right, Cardinals have a 12:05 game this afternoon. They play the Nationals. Dustin May, new addition to the Cardinals roster. He's going to get the start for this one. This game is going to be on both MLB and on Cardinals TV, which is through MLB.
Indifference. Stop right now before you blow us all away. You wanna do that? Get up, can't you hear the alarm?
Hey, Tony Colombo here with Tim Jones for our friends Rodney and Jen Wallner, the Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway, the #1 home selling team in the St. Louis area, and I can say that from firsthand experience. My wife and I were blown away from the results that we saw from working with Rodney and Jen, from selling our old home faster and for more money than we thought possible to finding our family's perfect new home. They over-delivered every step of the way, and right now it's still very much a seller's market. So, Tim, for folks that have been thinking about selling their home, it's a perfect time to call the Wallners.
That's right, Tony. And don't forget, they're licensed in both Missouri and Illinois, so no matter where you are in the metro area, you can put St. Louis's #1 home selling team to work for you. The Wallners' experience and work ethic, second to none. And of course, the numbers speak for themselves. The Wallners sell 15 times more homes per year than the typical realtor. Right now, they're working with so many qualified buyers, they'll guarantee to obtain you an offer. If you've been thinking about selling your home, don't wait. Call the Wallners now at 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD for the Wallner Home Selling Team.
Now, the Free Market Minute, brought to you by the Hammond Institute for Free Enterprise at Lindenwood University.
Hey, it's Mike Ferguson from The Morning Show. I am here with Dr. Grant Black. And Grant, entrepreneurship, it's one of those buzzwords we hear a lot about, but is entrepreneurship really important to the economy?
It definitely is. Entrepreneurship is a consistent contributor to economic growth. It creates new products and services that people value. It creates the new businesses that provide them. It fosters innovation that improves productivity, and it increases beneficial competition. It generates jobs, income, wealth mobility, and even tax revenues that all support and enhance communities. Entrepreneurship matters, so we need to help it thrive in all our communities.
The John W. Hammond Institute for Free Enterprise at Lindenwood University fosters and examines market-oriented approaches to economic and social issues. To learn more, visit hammondinstitute.org.
Hey, Tony Colombo here, inviting you out for a great night of fun and rock and roll with the Queen Tribute Somebody to Love, Friday, March 20th at the Mill in Granite City. My band, Tony Colombo and the North County Sound Machine, featuring Katie Fitzpatrick, opens the show, followed by the ultimate Queen experience from Somebody to Love. That's Friday, March 20th at the Mill, Granite City's premier concert and event venue, brought to you by Weber Chevrolet. Support local music and join us for a great party. Tickets and info now at themill.events.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Hey, it's Vic and Ken. We're on every Monday through Friday on NewsTalkSTL. Kenny, how are you?
I'm good.
You know, you got to be some kind of weirdo to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and do radio.
You do, believe me.
And that weirdo is Mike Ferguson in the morning show on 1019 and 94.1 NewsTalkSTL. Whoosh.
So, Susie.
Yes.
Madam Shamrock today.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you got an interesting phone call the other day.
I did.
Yeah. It was an auto call, one of those political calls.
Yep.
But it's not just interesting for who is named in it, but for who may not be named in it.
It is. It caught my attention. I let it go to voicemail because it was a
Right.
number I didn't recognize. And then when I looked at the transcription of the voicemail, it kind of caught my attention.
Right. Okay, so you were nice enough to send that over to me. So this is one of those just candidate survey things. And so this isn't like a production thing. This is actually what you got. Okay. So here, of course, it didn't recognize that it was in voicemail. So it just was doing the thing and they wanted you to hit, the numbers. Here's that message that Susie got.
There will be 4 candidates for the county executive race in St. Charles County in August of 2026. Jason Law, Steve Ellman, Mike Carter, Arnie Dienoff. If the election were held today, for whom would you vote? Press 1 for Jason Law. Press 2 for Steve Ellman. Press 3 for Mike Carter. Or press 4 for Arnie Dienoff.
Okay, who notices anything unusual there?
First thing.
Yes.
There's no Bill Eigel.
No Bill Eigel.
What'd they do to Bill Eigel?
Yeah.
Well, when he said 4, it caught me by surprise because we've been talking about there being 3.
Right.
Jason Law, Steve Ellman, and Bill Eigel.
Right.
So I was like, well, wait, when did Mike Carter say he was getting in? And,
Well, and
Arnie Dienoff runs for everything.
Yeah, he's
he
probably
does. He's probably on 8 different.
Yeah, he's probably on 3 or 4 different ballots this year. I mean, that's just like what he does. Okay, so yes, he's not a factor. But it was interesting that Mike Carter was mentioned in there. And by the way, Mike's going to be on the show with us at 7:05 today. So we saw that, or we heard it, and so we reached out, and so Mike's going to be. Of course, you can see Mike's got the TV show on weekends on Sunday. Justice and Journalism, that he's been doing that show for a long time, and obviously he's also a judge in I think Wentzville. So he this not like he's an unknown entity.
No, not at all.
Who he is. So I think that's interesting that that he was mentioned in that, and Bill Eigel was not. Bill's been one of the 2 most aggressive campaigners in this. He and Jason Law are campaigning like crazy.
Right.
For this
so I was
race.
like, did I miss something? Like wow.
Yeah, so that's where when that caught your attention, you sent it to me, and you just said, "Listen to this." She didn't say anything else. I listened. I had the same thing. I'm like, "Wait a minute, where's Bill?"
Yeah. So I wonder, I don't know, obviously, how many people that went out to, and I wonder how many people actually listened to it. Because most of the time, I would have let it go to voicemail, and then I would have completely ignored it. I just happened to see like the transcription. And it caught my attention, so I looked at it closer, and then I was like, hey, wait a second.
Yeah. So the question is then, could the race for St. Charles County Executive get even spicier?
Yeah.
If Mike Carter gets in, very well known. He's in a judicial office. He's on television a lot.
Right.
He's very active in St. Charles County stuff. So this could get very interesting because then you'd have Steve Ellman, who's been there for 20 years. Bill Eigel, incredibly well known for his work in the legislature, who's campaigning like crazy. And then Jason Law, of course, former mayor of Lake St. Louis, and he's got the police and emergency services backing. And so this could be something really, really fascinating.
Yeah. Definitely could be fascinating.
Yeah. And if you are a Republican voter, which in St. Charles County, chances are you
pretty
are.
good chances.
I'm going to take a bet on that. In St. Charles County, that means you've got 4 completely different approaches to being Republican and or conservatism-ish, depending on the candidate, and 4 different resumes. So anything could happen.
Yes, it could. Well, I'm going to be interested to see what Mike has to say.
Yeah, because you live in St. Charles County.
I do.
Yeah, Jerome and I both live in St. Louis County.
Hello, I'm your demographic.
That's right. which is why they were calling you.
Feel free to win me over.
That's right. And that's going to be the interesting thing is the August primary is all that matters in that race.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Democrats will.
Sorry, do we know when the deadline is for filing?
Around the end of this month.
Okay.
So there's a couple more weeks.
Gotcha.
And Democrats may throw a sacrificial lamb up there, but I don't even know if, there's no point in the Democrat even running that hard for St. Charles County Executive.
No, other than maybe just getting your name out there. I don't know. Interesting times.
Yeah, it really is. And so, so that's happening in St. Charles County. Then St. Louis County, I was texting with Dennis Hancock last night, and he had some strong thoughts on Sam Page's trying to get the conversation going again about the merger, which we talked about Thursday or Friday when Sam Page decided to call his his press conference, and Sam Page still thinking that he's important. But it's interesting how media just keeps running with this thing with Sam Page, and they either are ignoring or they're trying to make us forget that nobody gives a crap what Sam Page says, but media's run with this, so now it's a discussion again.
It just kind of keeps coming back up.
Right. And Dennis Hancock very much against any sort of merger with the city, and then you roll in all of the crime issues and the state now saying we may have to come in, not just taking oversight of the police department. The budget issue is a massive thing because the city's saying, listen, or the state's saying, city, you have to spend a lot more money on law enforcement, and we're going to make sure you hire more officers. We're going to make sure that you equip them. And in that long segment that David Amilati produced for Channel 4, which is on their social media pages, that's one of the things that Catherine Hanaway was saying is you get really good training, apparently, for the academy. The police officers, apparently there's nobody questioning if the St. Louis City Police Department's training academy is very, very good. So they go through it, and then they can get offered more money to go work in lower crime areas. And then they wonder why they lose police officers constantly.
I mean, that's kind of an easy call.
Right. Good career move if you want to be in law enforcement.
Right.
Do that. So they're talking about bumping up the salaries and, that sort of thing. But now the state is looking at essentially bailing out the city. They may not have a choice.
Yeah.
Because you can't have the city continue to collapse. And I mentioned a little bit ago, and give me your thoughts on this, a couple years ago, 2.5 years, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, Tashara Jones is the mayor. Kimberly Gardner is the prosecuting attorney. The state coming in to bail out the city probably would have been a waste of money. The city didn't get here overnight. The city's not going to be fixed overnight. But now if the state has to come in and try to save the city from itself, it might be a better investment this time because at least some of the key players in the city are willing to work with the state and say, Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. We got to fix this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes all the difference in the world. If you've got, regardless of party affiliation, if you've got leaders at the state and local level that are willing to work together and cooperate, you've got a much better chance of success. And I don't think I ever saw any indication from Tashara Jones that she had any interest whatsoever, first of all, in leading the city.
Right.
But secondly, in cooperating with the state because they were just, her political enemies. So, and the same thing, Kim Gardner couldn't have cared less about it. Didn't seem to anyway. So yeah, I mean, it's not, like you said, there's no overnight fix. There's no quick fix.
Yeah, but you couldn't even make the investment a couple years ago. You couldn't even try from a state perspective a couple years ago because it would have been blocked. And now the state has more say. Now they might, and again, it's not going to happen overnight. So then you look back to Dennis Hancock proposing this resolution that the council will at least talk about tonight. Whether they do anything with it remains to be seen. Basically saying, no, we do not want to merge because what's going to happen is our resources are going to have to go to try to fix the city. And so if they suddenly become, part of the county, then that drains our resources. And then we lose more say because their population means that they will get a tremendous say in what the new county would be able to do and not do.
So some of it, I think, has to do with scale, right?
Yeah.
I mean, state absorbing some of the responsibility for the city versus county absorbing some of that responsibility. Sorry, Jerome.
Kathleen is asking, what about signing the contract to keep the officers who are trained for the city working in the city for a certain amount of time?
You can try that. You can do that. And the thing is, there probably is something on that line. But then the minute that contract's up, they're gone.
Right.
They gone.
Right. So there is something structural that has to be addressed there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to train and keep good officers, you've got to make it worth their while. And obviously, it's a dangerous job no matter where you are.
Right.
But it's way more dangerous in the city than it would be in some little Tony suburb. So if you're a young person who wants to be in law enforcement and your choices are to get paid more in the less dangerous place,
right?
I mean, why are you not going? I mean, only the like a true sense of loyalty to the city is going to keep you there in the city.
Yeah, I mean, it's the right question to ask. How do you do that? Well, Catherine Hanaway says, and the governor says, and the police board, they all say, you want to keep more cops and attract more and better cops. okay, have a competitive salary, because their salary and benefits are not even competitive right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't compete in any line of work outside of maybe nonprofit or ministerial work. You just can't do it if you're not competing on the salary. And, cops, after a long time, they can make a pretty good living. They can build up their scale, on the pay scale pretty well over time, but it takes a long time to do it. But we ran a story on this a year and a half ago where they're losing officers to places like Carbondale.
Mm-hmm.
They're losing them to Jefferson County.
Right.
Far lower crime, but far more money, sometimes $20,000 or more per year with the lower cost of living.
Wow.
Hey, Susie.
Hey, yeah.
Did you know that there's some leftists saying that voter ID improving citizenship is voter suppression, especially for women? And, of course, Black Americans.
Yeah.
Our friends at Project 21 are actually going to come join us here at 6:35 with some information for those leftists. And we're going to have that conversation whether they like it or not.
I like it.
How'd you even get here?
I don't know. Hey, today may be St. Patrick's Day and cause for celebration, but you do not need a special occasion to spruce up your home. What's one of the best ways to do that? New flooring. And if you're looking for new flooring, I have the place for you. It's Michael's Flooring Outlet. They're a locally owned and operated family business for more than 30 years, so you know you can count on them. I used them in the past. I had a great experience with them. You will too. If it's variety you're looking for, Michael's has it. They've got carpet, hardwood, laminate, ceramic tile, luxury vinyl, natural stone. Lots of options for you to choose from. Plus, with Michael's, you know your installation is going to be done right the first time because it's being done by the experts at Michael's. No subcontractors. With Michael's, you get the best combination ever. You get to save money and you get great quality. So if you are thinking, hey, might be time to do some sprucing up and you want to check out some new flooring, go check out Michael's. You can shop in store at one of their 3 locations, on Olive and Creve Coeur, on Town Square in Darting Prairie, or on Main Street in St. Peters. Or you can shop from the comfort of your own home. Just go online to igotfloored.com.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Sam Page is yelling about a St. Louis City-County merger on his way out of office. We'll ask Dave Stokes at Show Me Institute if it's even possible at 420.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps.
Weekdays at 4
on News Talk STL. From the Michael's Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Let's go with the thicker green outfit today, gang. It's chilly for St. Patty's Day. 37 for the high, which is about 20 degrees colder than normal for this time of year. Plenty of sunshine this morning, but clouds on the increase this afternoon and tonight as a quick clipper system scoots in. Some light snow, light rain showers around tonight, but temperatures actually climbing slowly as a warm front moves through, so no accumulation, no travel impacts. Mid to upper 30s early Wednesday, and then another spring warm-up kicks in. We'll be at 64 tomorrow afternoon. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Mike Ferguson here. Retirement should be a time you can relax. No more stress from work. But there's one thing you can't forget about when retiring. That's your money. Do you have enough saved to fund your income for life and keep up with inflation? How will you claim your Social Security benefits? And what about long-term care? The ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel is here to help answer all of these questions. You can hear their latest views on the markets and investing during On the Money, hosted by Stifel financial advisors Bob Stockdale and Eric Robert, every Saturday morning at 9, right here on News Talk STL. They can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call 636-695-2650, 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Your workout tomorrow starts tonight. Your focus at work starts tonight. Your patience with your family starts tonight. Sleep isn't the end of your day, it's the beginning of your life. At Snooze Mattress and Wellness, we're locally owned and family owned, and we use advanced technology to help you find a mattress designed for deep, restorative sleep. Because this isn't about furniture, it's about waking up renewed. Snooze Mattress and Wellness in Chesterfield. Sleep restored, life renewed.
News, analysis, opinion.
Funding for ICE and the Department of Homeland Security should not move forward.
What they're doing is putting politics ahead of the safety and security of this nation.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Hey, Chris Arps from the Tim Jones and Chris Arps Show. Make sure that you're listening to our show this afternoon from 4 to 6. Now back to the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show.
All right. I've been told that demanding voter ID is racist or something.
And sexist, probably.
Apparently, requiring proof of citizenship is a burden on people. It's going to disenfranchise voters, especially the minority type of voters.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Or
Okay.
something like that.
That's the story, right?
Or you women folk.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the Save America Act. So here's what's going on: is the president and Republican leadership are pushing to get this on the floor of the Senate anytime now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe today, maybe tomorrow.
Test vote today, probably.
The likelihood of this making it through the Senate is next to nothing.
Maddening.
It is. Well, and there's a lot of layers at play here as far as like using the so-called nuclear option and forcing the vote or passing it some other way. We talked to Congressman Bob Onder about that yesterday. And our friends at Project 21, part of the National Center for Public Policy Research, have some thoughts on that as well. Now, Project 21, of course, nation's largest network of black conservatives, and Terris Todd's the director there, and Terris joins us right now. So, Terris, I guess because I've heard so many Democrats make this accusation because they are trying to protect you, have you been able to get an ID to be able to vote?
Oh, man, these people are the great deflectors, man, masters of deception. Of course, I enjoyed seeing a clip on YouTube, actually, that they went around the city of New York and they were asking black Americans that said, hey, these people think you can't get ID. They say, well, why would they think we wouldn't have ID? Everybody has ID. Well, do you know where the DMV is at? Yeah, it's around on this corner, and so, but it's again, that's that soft bigotry of low expectations, and it's a stall tactic, to say the least. They're just stalling because the longer they stall, the more they can continue their push to make for sure that illegals get as much opportunity to vote in our elections. And so that's really what it is. That's all it is.
Good morning, Terris. This is Susie. I have tried to overcome my my challenges as a woman, and I have managed to get an ID myself. But just to play devil's advocate, one of the things that people are saying is, with regard to the citizenship part of it, in order to prove that initially, you might have to have your birth certificate. And some communities might have difficulty accessing their birth certificates, particularly older people. And there could be something to that. But what is your take on that, or your answer to that?
My answer to that is, when have they been concerned about that, especially with women? I mean, I'm shocked that they can define what a woman is, and now we're concerned about women who are actually married, for goodness sake, but they're not concerned about women who have their spaces invaded by actual men being in their restrooms and being in girls' sports and so on and so forth. And so I'm just amazed at how now all of a sudden these things have become a priority. If you recall, none of them actually campaigned on these issues. But now all of a sudden, again, because of a stall tactic, now these things are obviously of importance to them now. Now they're a priority. Let's not forget, these are the same people that recently did not stand up and say that the American citizen is their priority. So again, I don't put nothing past these folks, man. And but you're absolutely right. I mean, I think the average American citizen in this country has a birth certificate, they have identification, and they can prove all that stuff. So it's really not a non-issue when it comes to the vast majority of people. Even 80%, at least 80% of their supporters support that.
Yeah, and so what's then the holdup? Because I've seen the survey, and survey after survey after survey, including by mainstream leftist media, shows that the majority of Americans think that these requirements are acceptable, at least, if not they like them. So what's tactically, strategically, what's the reason for the roadblock?
Well, I think, again, it's so they can cheat in the election. So they can stall as long as they can. But let's not forget, they were also the ones that allowed for vast majority of illegals to come into our country. And let's not also forget that the people that is going to impact the most, again, I'm the director of Project 21, Black Leadership Network. Those are going to be the individuals who's going to suffer the most in every election going forward. I recall a quote by Dr. Claude Anderson. He said that the goal of them is to actually make for sure that Black Americans specifically are a permanent underclass in this country. We're third in population, not long from now we'll be fourth in population. If power in numbers matter, certainly it matters in an election. And so the people who it's going to impact the most are Black Americans.
Terris, when you're talking with others at Project 21 or just people that you know, I mean, have you yet to come across anybody who said, yeah, you know what, I actually have struggled with trying to get ID, or I can't, I don't know how I'm going. I have not, but I realize, you can't just rely on your own anecdotal experience. Everybody has got a different life experience. So have you encountered anybody, or are you aware of any states in which it is next to impossible to get that ID in?
And if it's Chris Arps, I want all the details.
Right. Yeah, I want those details.
Right.
Too. He's an ambassador of ours. To be honest with you, absolutely not. I have never run. I'm 53 years old. I've never run into one person in the Black community or wherever that says it's difficult for them to get ID. Let's not forget, over the past several elections going backwards, record numbers of Black Americans were showing up to vote. I mean, and obviously they needed ID to do that. And let's also not forget, in predominantly inner cities, in Black American communities and in Hispanic communities in these inner cities, you can go to wherever you want to go, Baltimore, Detroit, wherever, Chicago. It is a known fact, and you can ask any Black American in this country, the vast majority of their communities have either church on every other corner or a liquor store. Well, you need to show ID in the liquor store, for sure. You need ID to travel and all that. So the point that they're trying to make it seem like that minorities are the ones somehow that's having this difficulty is a bunch of nonsense. We all know that that's not true. But that's, again, the soft bigotry of low expectations. That's just their way of being the true racists that they are.
All right, we're visiting with Terris Todd, director of Project 21. Let's go on a little bit higher level on the policy aspect of this. If this were to be implemented, the Save America Act were to be implemented, which, again, it's not looking good right now when you're looking at the tea leaves in the Senate. Sure. I think the Democrats probably have a lock on blocking this. Constitutionally, states are supposed to run the elections. Are these laws, are these rules something that would override the states? Whether or not you think the requirements are good or bad, are we messing with the balance of power in our republic?
Yeah, I agree. I think we are somewhat messing with the balance of power. But again, these are in federal elections, and you're right. Elections are mainly controlled at the state level, but we're talking about the federal elections, right? So that's what we're after, simply because, again, they've allowed millions of people to come into this country that should not even be here. And so, but I think you're right. I think we're teetering on that whole balance of power. But we're talking about federal elections, which I think constitutionally we should have the backing in that for sure. But I hope conservatives actually stick to their guns on this, because, again, let's not forget, the vast majority of people who support them are on that side, right? So they don't need to bend or fold on that. I mean, they're on the right side of this issue.
So because it's not looking great for the Senate, and I'm trying to educate myself better on all the arcane Senate rules, just because I know this is going to be a big topic this week. But assuming that the Senate just cannot get it done, what other avenues do we have to try and at least get these policies, these practices put in place, and to do what we can to minimize the chance of cheating and fraud in elections?
Yeah. That's a very good question. I'm not too for sure on that, but what I do know for sure is that a lot of these people that are in Congress or elected positions, they respect pressure from the voters. And so what's going to happen if the vast majority of those on the left who support this legislation, they're going to have to put pressure on their elected officials, because, again, I think conservatives need to come out and basically put it the way that I mentioned earlier, the fact that it's going to impact Black Americans the most, because, again, their population, again, are on the decline. And so if they don't think that's not going to impact them, they're sadly mistaken. And so I think pressure from the electorate, pressure from the voters, I think that's what they will respect, especially if we don't have leverage on the legislative side, or should I say the constitutional side or whatever. I think the thing that they respect the most is pressure from the electorate, because, again, all these people want to remain in power, and that's who gives them that power and authority to be in the positions that they're in.
Terris, I'm just going to be really, really blunt and ask the question that I'm not supposed to ask. Can that pressure from the constituency, is that more likely to come from Black Democrats? Because I don't see it coming from the white leftist with the savior complex.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's got to come from them. and it's got to be, and the point that has to be made is exactly what I just said. Let's not forget, you all are third in population. You used to be second. Not long from now, some estimate that we'll be fourth within the next decade. We're on the decline. So again, power is in numbers. If power is in numbers, which is a true thing, then that means that black voices overall, regardless of what side of the political spectrum you're on, the voice of black Americans are swiftly on the decline, and pretty soon they won't have a voice at all. So I think that pressure would have to come from the left because, again, 80% of the folks, at least 80% of their voters, actually support proof of identification. And let's keep in mind, they're the ones being attacked as being said that, hey, we don't think they're bright enough or smart enough to get an ID, for goodness sake. But it's going to have to come from them for sure.
All right, Terris, man, thanks for the time. Appreciate the discussion. A
Sure.
lot of comments from you and a lot of your colleagues on the blog on Project 21's part of the website. Where do we find that?
You can go to nationalcenter.org, or you can go to project21.org as well, and it'll take you to the same place.
All right, great. Terris, Todd, Project 21, man, good talking to you again. We'll talk to you soon.
You too. God bless you, man.
Thanks,
Take care.
Terris. Hey, Uncle Sam is making it easier for those who hate America to get out. And we're going to explain all about that in the news dump at 6:50.
Mike Ferguson,
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Susie Moore,
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is.
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL. News Talk STL.
First thing in the morning and pretty much all day.
Live and local. 1019 and 94.1. News Talk STL.
Does your market have fresh cut steaks, 8 varieties of broths and smoked meats, a large selection of Italian influence products, baked pies, breads, and desserts? Well, Valenti's Market in St. Peter's does, serving the community since 1937. Valenti's Market offers catering services from box lunches to large corporate events and weddings. Stop by the deli counter for deli meats, sandwiches, and salads. Visit valentismarket.com to order online. Valenti's Market, another awesome, locally owned business supported by CUNA Food Service.
Sometimes it seems all lawmakers do is tax and spend. That's why Missouri voters passed the Hancock Amendment in 1980 to place a limit on what the government can do with your money. But the Hancock Amendment is outdated. It hasn't provided a taxpayer refund since 1999 and probably won't without reform. That's why Missouri needs a taxpayer Bill of Rights. Colorado has one, and taxpayers there have received more than $8 billion in refunds. It's simple. There should be limits on government spending and refunds when there's a surplus in the state budget. A taxpayer Bill of Rights constitutional amendment would help limit the growth of government. Missouri's budget has nearly doubled in the past 5 years, yet the state lags far behind states like Colorado in economic growth. The Hancock Amendment was supposed to protect taxpayers. Now it's time for an update and a taxpayer Bill of Rights. After all, it's your money. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
This year, America turns 250, and News Talk STL is celebrating our nation's semi-quincentennial all year long. News Talk STL, #1 for live and local Soros-free talk, with proud supporters of our 250th birthday celebration. Freddy's Market, Iron Bear Customs, and STL Windows and Doors. 250 years strong, and we're just getting started. 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Bill O'Reilly here. Check out the O'Reilly Update this afternoon at 3:45. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
All right, the state may have to step in to help the city save itself.
Something's got to be
or
done.
save the city from itself. Also, St. Louis County going to consider a formal declaration opposing a merger with the aforementioned city. We'll see how that goes tonight. And Team USA playing for the championship tonight. All right, 6:49. Let's do another news dump here.
The Morning News Dump.
Are you joking? Is this a joke?
Listen, folks. The Morning News Dump.
All right, St. Louis City Police are looking for those involved in the 314-day violence, including violence that involves surrounding police cars, stopping those cop cars from assisting other people. We've seen this over and over and over throughout the last several years in St. Louis. KMOV's David Amalotti spoke with Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway about the weekend violence, which included several shootings as well.
Who bears responsibility for preventing a night like this? I mean, is it city officials? Is it police? Is it state leadership?
I think we all have to own some of it. And I think that St. Louis is going to get safer because we have a prosecutor, a mayor, a police chief, a U.S. attorney, an attorney general, and a governor who are all committed to reducing violent crime. It was a terrible weekend, but the trend line is getting slightly better. We should not at all take solace from that. What we should do is, since we have this great cooperation now, we should step on the gas harder.
Okay, St. Louis police have posted several pictures of suspects on social media, and the pictures are pretty clear, so they're asking for tips, and they want to follow up, and they want to make arrests in this. Yep. And city officials are considering changes to the curfew for minors starting this weekend. Currently, juveniles are not supposed to be out without a parent or guardian between midnight and 6 a.m. Friday and Saturdays. Between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. Sundays through Thursdays, the discussion is about moving the start time of that curfew up.
Okay.
Well, which would be, I guess, a fine gesture if you wanted to do that. But if you don't enforce it, it doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah. I mean, why even bother to have one?
Right. All right. St. Louis County Council is going to consider a resolution opposing any possible city-county merger. Councilman Dennis Hancock, who is running for county executive, is proposing that at tonight's meeting. Current executive Sam Page, who is not running for re-election while facing criminal charges, is suggesting adding the city back into the county. The great divorce between the two happened in 1876.
Wow.
Yeah. Also, it is primary day on the Illinois side among main elections. I'd say probably for conservatives, the big race is that GOP race for the nomination for governor.
Yeah.
4 candidates in the race. 2 of them really matter. Former state senator Darren Bailey, and then Ted Dabrowski, who, of course, was at one point the executive of WirePoint's news service, and he also does a lot of work with Illinois Policy Institute as well. And then whoever gets to do that gets to go up against the juggernaut that is the JV Pro Team machine.
Good luck. Yeah, and that, I mean, so there's the Senate campaign that's been taking up a lot of the oxygen, and then
because Democrats are basically picking who's going to replace Dick Durbin for the next 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it wild to imagine a Senate without Dick Durbin in it?
Yeah, and the weird part is, as far left as he is, he's not even the fringe craziest by any stretch of the imagination of the Democrats.
No, he is not.
So it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
No matter who wins.
Exactly.
And
unfortunately.
And it's probably going to be Stratton.
Sorry, Illinois. I guess so. She's got, JB's backing, so.
Yeah, we'll have all the results tomorrow morning. So those, listen, News Talk family, listen, we're here for you on the Illinois side. Just shoulders right here. Just cry on it. We're here for you. Just saying. All right. We were just talking about the Save America Act. Republicans got a real uphill battle, and that's a nice way to say it's not going to happen, but they might force a debate that brings a lot of other stuff to a standstill for weeks over this. I was reading the article on The Hill last night, and the Republicans, especially John Thune, is under a lot of pressure to basically go through the entire battle process on this, even though the numbers just aren't there to pass it. The Republicans just don't have it when it comes to getting that 60 the vote threshold and getting to a point where they could pass it with a simple majority. They're just not willing to do that and then hand over that possibility to the Democrats to get them on something else.
You just hit on something very key. And this is something that I think most Americans look at and go, what?
Yeah.
They've got the majority. They don't have the will to do. And this is about Senate rules.
Yes.
It's not about the Constitution.
Right.
So it's one of those things where they have intentionally hamstrung themselves, and there is some validity to there's some reason for that.
Yeah.
But if you can't, I mean, you're never going to have a 60-seat majority in the Senate anymore, ever. So if you can't figure out a way to work with that, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's maddening.
Senator Eric Schmidt was on with Hannity last night on Fox, and here was his thoughts on it.
Democrats are on the wrong side of this, whether it's Trump derangement syndrome or the left has totally captured the Democrat Party. They're wrong on this. I think it's a very important week for us in the Senate. I'll be having that amendment as we go to the floor this week, finally.
And, of course, several Democrats are saying that this puts a heavier burden on people of color and on married and or divorced women. Chuck Schumer calls the bill Jim Crow 2.0.
I just want to smack him. I'm sorry.
Get in
I want to
line.
take his spatula for his raw hamburgers and smack him across the face with it. This is ridiculous.
You're going to have to get in line on that one, Susie. There's a lot of people who want to do that.
Well, I'll take my turn.
Okay. If you know someone who hates America and they say they want out, well, it's a little bit cheaper to do that now.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah. U.S. State Department has cut the fee to renounce your citizenship to 80%. Yeah, they've cut it by 80%, I should say. Instead of the fee of $2,350. And if you really hate America, isn't that worth it? Just saying.
It's so worth it.
Yeah. But for the low price of $450, you can now not be an American. And that covers the cost of administrative, just the administrative paperwork to say, you reject us, now we reject you. You're not a citizen. Get out. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
To quote a 90s song.
That's right. So there you go. If you have somebody who complains about how much they hate America and they want to leave and don't want to be a citizen, $450. That's all it takes.
Cheap, man.
And you can leave, and you got to figure out on your own where else you're going to go, which country will take you. But
that's key. And you know what? You're going to have to abide by their rules in order to do that funny thing
and enjoy that.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of kids are using a chat box. That should not surprise us. But what are they doing with the technology? Here's the story.
About 2/3 of all American kids ages 13 to 17, according to the latest from the Pew Research Center. Critics say that's a problem. While teens say they mostly use the chatbots to help them with schoolwork, research indicates that a lot of them are also turning to them for advice about serious life issues, the kind of thing they ought to be taking up with their parents or their pastor. Some bots have also been enabled to provide, quote, erotic content to their users. Michael Harrington reporting.
So parents, don't outsource your kids to the ether.
Don't do it.
Oh,
God. I believe when he said helping with schoolwork, there was big air quotes because I think we all know what that means.
That means cheating.
Doing the homework for you, not assisting you with the problem.
All right. Team USA takes on Venezuela for the World Baseball Classic Championship tonight. Yeah, Venezuela beat Italy 4-2 last night. First pitch in Miami tonight is at 7 o'clock. The game's on Fox, so Channel 2, and you can watch the whole thing for free. Sold-out stadium. World Baseball Classic all over the place.
Yeah.
Has been massive interest, massive turnouts at the games. St. Louis is, when it comes to watching the World Baseball Classic, St. Louis is the third highest watching market in the country.
Wow.
For the World Baseball Classic. You know who number one is?
Miami.
Kansas City.
Oh,
Ooh.
wow.
Yeah. Because a couple of the Kansas City Royals are on teams, including Bobby Witt Jr. on Team USA.
Wow.
And Kansas City is the top market for how many people are watching the World Baseball Classic, and St. Louis not that far behind at number 3.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, so we're really digging the World Baseball. I think it's great for the game of baseball. I absolutely love it. Love it. Okay, Cardinals have a 12:05 game this afternoon playing the Nationals. Dustin May. Cardinals have a lot of big hopes for him as a pitcher this year.
Yep.
He's going to start this game that's going to be on MLB and on the Cardinals TV specific stream, which is through MLB if you want to get that. A quick shout out to Albert Pujols, manager of the Dominican Republic's team. Of course, they lost the game. The last call was a very controversial strike 3. He was asked about that. His reaction, he said, I'm not going to dwell on one call. The game is the game. It was not meant to be for us this year, and he had an incredibly classy response to that.
And Albert.
The Herzog Foundation is the vision of its founder, Stanley Herzog, and it exists to promote quality Christ-centered K-12 education nationwide.
Hi, this is Chris Stegall with the Herzog Foundation. We offer a wide variety of resources relevant to today's families, including a free online publication called The Lion. The lion is one of God's most majestic creatures, symbolizing strength and courage. Named for its attributes, the Lion publication carries articles covering a wide range of topics facing American families and culture, especially related to the education of children. The Lion can be found online at readlion.com. That's READ lion.com.
Sign up for The Lion at readlion.com and find dozens of must-read articles published every day. Visit readlion.com and subscribe for the weekly and daily digests so you never miss an article. Readlion.com. That's readlion.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewsTalkSTL.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. The partial government shutdown affecting Homeland Security funding has stretched into its second month, and the biggest impact is being felt at airport security checkpoints. Aaron Barker is a union rep for TSA workers who have now gone 4 weeks without a paycheck.
This shutdown is occurring during one of the busiest travel periods of the year. As staffing challenges rise, passenger wait times will increase.
Meanwhile, hundreds of flights canceled or delayed today after those strong storms dumped snow in the Midwest and brought high winds and rain to the east. Iran's top security official and the head of a Revolutionary Guard militia were both killed in overnight strikes in a blow to that country's leadership. The Trump administration is boasting about military success against Iran, but the closing of the vital Strait of Hormuz remains a problem, and that's rippling through the global economy. 7 people in 3 states have been sickened by E. coli food poisoning.
The cases are linked to cheddar cheese made with raw milk. The Food and Drug Administration says California-based Raw Farm made the cheese. That is the likely source. Illnesses were reported between September of last year and last month and include 5 in California and 1 each in Florida and Texas. 4 cases were in children, 3 or younger. 2 people had to be hospitalized. The FDA recommended Raw Farm voluntarily remove the raw cheese products from being sold. The company said no. The CDC is urging people to consider not eating the products. Ed Donahue, Washington.
White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles has been diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer. President Trump said Wiles has begun her treatment, will remain on the job, and that her prognosis is excellent. More at townhall.com.
Dennis Prager here for AmFed Coin and Bullion. I've always been a strong believer in precious metals investment, and I've always been fascinated with rare coin collecting. But owning the wrong coins that only make dealers a lot of money can be catastrophic for your investment portfolio. AmFed Coin and Bullion specializes in taking people out of non-performing coin portfolios and turning them into gold, silver, or platinum bullion. They tailor a portfolio based on your goals and not what they want to sell you. You'll never experience scare tactics, misleading hype, or high-pressure sales from owner Nick Grovich and his very knowledgeable staff. They will evaluate your portfolio, show you how your coins have performed, and take the time to educate you on the ugly industry practices so that you can make an informed decision. Smart people can make very bad investments when they're under pressure and lack the facts. Call 800-221-7694. That's 800-221-7694. AmericanFederal.com.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Let's go with the thicker green outfit today, gang. It's chilly for St. Patty's Day. 37 for the high, which is about 20 degrees colder than normal for this time of year. Plenty of sunshine this morning, but clouds on the increase this afternoon and tonight as a quick clipper system scoots in. Some light snow, light rain showers around tonight, but temperatures actually climbing slowly as a warm front moves through, so no accumulation, no travel impacts. Mid to upper 30s early Wednesday, and then another spring warm-up kicks in. We'll be at 64 tomorrow afternoon. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD.
Colombo here for my friends at Bluff City Outdoors in Alton. The knowledgeable staff at Bluff City has served the St. Louis outdoor community for decades, and they can take care of all your bow hunting needs, all your trapping needs, all your fishing needs, and more. Plus, while you're there, you can schedule a trip with a local fishing guide and shoot in their archery range. Bluff City Outdoors is open 7 days a week, 1 mile east of Fast Eddie's at 2813 East Broadway in Alton. Follow them on Facebook and at bluffcityoutdoors.com.
Craving the freshest in town? Anthony's Produce is your daily destination for nature's finest. Browse our rainbow of quality fruits and vegetables. Always fresh, always delicious. Hosting an event? Let us create stunning fruit bouquets and fruit or vegetable trays. We proudly stock hundreds of locally made products, seasoned firewood for pickup or delivery, and year-round chocolate-covered strawberries. Open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sundays. 701 Juggerman Road or anthonysproduce.com.
Mike Ferguson.
I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. I don't take no from anyone.
Susie Moore.
I disagree on his assessment of the situation.
Get up, St. Louis.
So it's time to get out of bed. Pour yourself the greatest cup of Kofifi the world has ever seen. Rise up with one voice. Drain the swamp and take back our country. Today's the day we're going to do it, and it's time to do it right now, believe me.
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Susie gets an interesting phone call the other day.
I did.
It's from a robocaller, but it was one of those political campaign surveys that happened.
Yeah.
This is what that call was, because it ended up going to your voicemail, and you weren't able to respond to it because it went to your voicemail. But here's the call that she got.
There will be 4 candidates for the county executive race in St. Charles County in August of 2026. Jason Law, Steve Ellman, Mike Carter, Arnie Dienoff. If the election were held today, for whom would you vote? Press 1 for Jason Law. Press 2 for Steve Ellman. Press 3 for Mike Carter. Or press 4 for Arnie Dienoff.
Okay, a couple interesting things in that. First of all, that survey did not include Bill Eigel, who was announced in running, and it also included Mike Carter, a very well-known name throughout St. Charles County and the region as well, from his TV show, and obviously he's a judge, and everything goes with it. And Mike joins us right now. So, Mike, I just got to ask the question really bluntly then. You're included in that survey. Are you getting into the race for St. Charles County Executive, or are you thinking about it?
Probably not, but yeah, I thought about it just for fun because I was watching, the race, and Eigel would be in it, but I haven't heard much from him. He's really gone kind of quiet lately, and I know I was just kind of thinking humorously, I guess, that her campaign, who I like and adore, endorsed me, and 22% in fact. His entire campaign push is to prevent Eigel from becoming county executive, and I thought, well, maybe I could do something similar to that if he gets out, and keep it interesting if, there's another name in there that doesn't allow the two of those guys who are remaining just to kind of run away with it. But that was just kind of my thinking. But thanks for having me on. How you doing?
Hey, doing well. Okay, so let me follow up on that real quick there. You said to get into to keep Bill Eigel out of the office. So obviously, you've got some thoughts on the strategy of it and the race. So assess where the race is. And then what do you think, what's the target on Bill Eigel then for this?
Well, to be clear, I don't know if you've been watching it, and maybe I was not clear a second ago, is that the entire reason he's still in the race is he does not want Eigel to be.
Hey, Mike, let me jump in. You're dropped out just a couple times, so whoever it was you're referring to, that dropped out. Can I just get you to start over because we got a phone connection thing going on?
Yeah, no problem. If you haven't been paying attention, Bill Eigel candidacy caused Ellman such heartache that's why Ellman got back in. He wanted to prevent. He thought he was the only candidate that could prevent Eigel from becoming county executive. And if you interview him or talk with him, he'll tell you that, without reservation. And so, thing. But when you are asking about the status of the race and things, right now, Law seems to have, quite a bit of, support to firemen, police, all those things. He's really, he's got a benefactor if I'm not mistaken. His name starts with an R. I can't remember. He's part of the Cargill family, but that's not his name, and has promised and put in for $500,000, if I'm not mistaken, towards Jason Law's campaign, and started a PAC, I think, with another $500,000 that's kind of focused on assisting Law, if I'm not mistaken. Elman's already raised, several hundred thousand. I know Eigel had several hundred thousand on hand, but I haven't, knowing Eigel in the way that he campaigns, unabashedly, cut-throatedly, I just haven't seen or heard anything from him, and I don't know if his heart's in it anymore. I don't know. He hasn't told me.
Good morning, Mike. This is Susie. Whether you decide to get in or not, overall, what would you like to see going forward for the St. Charles County Executive, or whoever's going to be leading in that office after this election? What direction would you like to see them take St. Charles County?
Well, really, it's been doing, pretty well, by any and all measures. I would say Elman's had a good stewardship, of the county, with the Pays extension and those types of things that he's been able to, continue moving forward, moving it from, basically a where you live here but work elsewhere into a community where you can sustain, all cycles of, existence as far as, job and entertainment and all that kind of stuff in one place. So it's, I'd say, keeping it at least as good as it is now, and understanding that it's the largest Republican voting bloc, if I'm not mistaken, the county is in the state of Missouri, and having 2 and maybe 3 senators that will be from St. Charles County down in Jefferson City, and working with those representatives to start bringing some money back from Jefferson City, into St. Charles County, and rewarding some of the that voting bloc I was talking about, especially in the form of interfacing with those senators and stuff. So there's a lot of opportunity there that whoever's in county executive position will be able to, marshal those resources, I would think.
We're visiting with Judge Mike Carter. Of course, you can see him every weekend on his TV show, Justice and Journalism. We'll tell you about where you can find that here in just a couple of minutes. Of course, Judge as well, excuse me. Okay, so Mike, a lot of the conversation has been around taxes now in St. Charles County, particularly property taxes. Bill Eigel, has been driving that conversation, which is happening in other counties as well. What needs to change as far as, if anything, as far as the taxing and the spending and the restraints on government, or focusing how taxes are done in St. Charles County? Because I think, for better or for worse, the conversations about sales and property taxes and all that's resonating with a lot of people right now.
Yeah, agreed. And it's, it really gets complicated. And I don't know if you're talking mostly about his push, for kind of getting rid of personal property taxes and lessening taxes in general. But in that regard, it seems that, the mayoral, contingency, Pagano, Guccione, they all have got an awareness that some of the critical services throughout the county and at the city levels kind of drive from this personal property tax. Eigel has got a lot of traction saying, we're paying rent to continue to own our vehicles and other things that are taxed, annually through the personal property tax. And it just seems kind of odd that, if you go to Target and buy a baseball glove or a television, you don't come back to Target a year later to pay, use tax, or, the ability to keep using your baseball glove or your TV every year. But you do, have agreed to, by vote or otherwise, do that, on your vehicles and other personal kind of, being un-American or something, to just be taxed by the virtue of owning something. And so he's gotten a lot of attention there. But as popular as it is, if you do a post on Facebook about getting rid of personal property tax, it explodes. It gets a lot of likes and shares. Sometimes if you bring in these fathers and mothers of the county, of the different cities in the county, they're worried about what might happen if indeed you get rid of it. And I think they're facing a lot of that in the state legislature right now. Some of the success of the senior citizen freeze on taxes on the real estate front are gaining, a little bit too much success and causing a little hand-wringing, I think, especially on the west side of the state in Kansas City. And it's a shame, because one of the fun things that Eigel talks about is that, a lot of politicians, they get kind of drunk on our money, right? They have it and they need it, and they do have to answer to their constituencies for sure. But Also, it'd just be nice if they could learn to tighten their belts a little more, as opposed to, every cycle there's a new tax proposition in April, which should probably be in August or November, so it gets a real vote. You're right. It's a very interesting topic, and it's gained a lot of attention lately.
Mike, obviously, a lot of the focus in the area is on crime, and particularly in the city or even St. Louis County. What, in your observation, how is St. Charles County doing in that regard? It seems like, we've seen some upticks, but overall, does it seem like the county's handling the crime situation pretty well?
Well, an easy answer is, being the judge out in Wentzville, kind of like the petty crime and stuff that had really, in my opinion, spiked during COVID. I don't know exactly why, people not scanning things properly at Walmart and that kind of stuff, leaving without paying. Those things seem to have really diminished, over the past 5 years. I know that the task force on stolen vehicles was a big deal for the cooperative from Chesterfield to St. Louis County over to St. Charles County when Tim Lomar was still in office. You don't hear as much about that anymore. So it does seem like lately, anyway, there's been, even in the city, in St. Louis proper, you hear more and more. I had Gabe Gore on my show, and everything is ticking downward with regard to homicides and that kind of thing. So I don't know the underlying rationale for why COVID had a spike in so much of that, but we have benefited from diminishing in our rearview mirror, if that makes sense.
Yeah, all right. Judge Mike Carter, of course, you can see the show Justice and Journalism. We'll tell you where in just a second here. So I guess the last question, I want to come back to that survey that Susie received, because she lives in St. Charles County. I'm in the St. Louis County side of things. Do you know who put that out and put your name in that? I mean, was that something that you're testing the waters, or do you know who did that?
Yeah, no, I know. If you play it back, it'll sound a lot like the guy you're talking to right now.
That's okay.
Normally I have a little team of folks who have much more pleasant voices and things than I do. I've been doing amateur polling for several different places, over the past 5 or 10 years. I'll get a hold of them, they'll record it for me. But I had an idea. I was talking to a friend, and I said, I don't think Eigel is going to remain in. I don't know what the hell he's doing. So with me in it and him not in it, and I bet he'll get a hold of me, and he did. And and you guys are talking to me about it, and it's something I wouldn't mind doing. It's a hard job. It's fun to run for office, but then you get there and you be careful what you wish for. You got to actually do the job. So understanding of what it would take and the things that I do in life, but it's also fun, to have fun and do polls and see how you do, what kind of mockery you might make of yourself if you actually got in the race.
See, I was trying to come up with this real polite backdoor way of asking that question. You just came out and bluntly answered it, so I appreciate that.
I was like, it does kind of sound like him.
It kind of did. All right, Mike, if people want to catch your TV show, want to keep up with what you're doing, what's the best way to do it?
It's on ABC 30 and KMOV 4 on the weekends about 5 times. It's hard to miss. Friday night, Saturday at 6 and 6:30 on each of the stations, and then Sunday at 10 o'clock at night. If you want to catch it over the weekend and turn the TV on a couple times, you're going to see it.
All right, Mike, we'll have you back on soon, man. Thanks so much.
All right, have a good one. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Judge. All right, Is the state going to have to bail out the city when it comes to dealing with violence? Well, maybe. We're going to talk about that at 7:20 because this affects everyone in the region.
Don't try to make me stop, no inspiration. You have a soul so dark, it is no more. And all at once depart, no destination. You're making cold my heart to fight your war. Stop it right now!
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Everybody wants me to dance. Could you imagine FDR dancing?
On NewsTalk STL.
Before you blow us all away. Get up, can't you hear the alarm?
Columbo and Company.
Debate and negotiations surrounding the government shutdown and the SAVE Act are heating up in Washington, D.C. this week. We'll get you the latest Tuesday, plus Crane Durham and Susie Moore.
Live and local, weekdays at 2 on Newstalk STL.
Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor. Connor Roofing is now a 2-time winner of the National Best of the Best Award for customer satisfaction for roofing, storm damage restoration, siding, gutters, both residential and commercial. Please visit ConnorRoofing.com for an estimate. And remember, you can count on Connor.
Hey, it's Vic Porcelli here with our great friend Chris Cooper from Serenity Wealth Management. Hi, Chris.
How are you, Vic?
I don't want to put anybody else down, but that when you go up and visit you at Serenity Wealth, your place looks like home.
So a lot of financial advisory offices, they have, the big mahogany desk or the big marble entryways and things like that, the stock market channel on the TV when you walk in the door, right? That doesn't really drive a good conversation. Good financial guidance and advice starts with a good conversation. People are nervous. People are afraid to talk about finances, right? And so you can see a little standoffish. Well, my objective is to try to have a good, casual conversation. By having those conversations about life, goals, objectives, it's what makes me understand what our financials are supposed to fund.
So if somebody does want to have a good conversation, how do they do that? How do they find you?
Our website is the best way to do that because you can get all the information you need, understand where we are, get a little bit more information, all that. SerenityWealthNow.com.
Reach out to Chris and Stacy today at SerenityWealthNow.com.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors, LLC.
Country Mart in St. Clair is having a 16-hour sale. Saturday, March 21st, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Stock up with unbeatable prices. Family pack pork steaks, $1.69. 6-pack Dr. Pepper and 7-Up, 4 for $10. 24-pack of Best Choice bottled water, 2 for $5. 3-pound bag of Sunkissed mandarins, $3.99. 16-ounce Best Choice butter, quarters, $2.99. And assorted Lay's potato chips. Buy one, get one free. Hurry while supplies last. See all items on our Facebook page. Country Mart on Plaza Drive in St. Clair.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Download the all-new NewsTalk STL app.
Love the all-new NewsTalk STL app.
And listen anytime, anywhere.
Good morning, Missouri. It's your boy, Joe Pags. I'll talk to you tonight at 10. But right now, let's get back to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Today's show is brought to you by St. Patrick's Day, which is Irish for Cinco de Mayo.
Just saying. Just another reason to drink stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody's arguing with that.
Hello.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh, man. A little bit later here, 7:35. I'm kind of going down, some of the stuff that's happening around town, and I happen to notice like the one big thing today, because most of the St. Louis St. Patrick's Day stuff was over the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, but Dogtown's doing theirs today.
Yeah.
So we'll give more details about that. All right, 7:21 right now. Got some thoughts on the discussion with Mike Carter. That was interesting. That's going to go up on the podcast here in a little bit. Mm-hmm. So obviously.
Well, I'm glad I'm not crazy. And when I thought it was Mike Carter's voice, it was Mike Carter's voice.
It was. That was really funny because when you said that to me, I'm sure I've met Mike Carter. I'm sure I've met him before just in media stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know him, And so when we reached out to him and then invited him to be on the show, I was going through like all of the just stuff. And I've been around the block a time or two on communications and politics. I'm like, that just seems to be something that all signs indicated that he was the one to put the survey out.
Right.
But I didn't want to come out and accuse a guy the first time I talked to him on the radio. And I got halfway through it. He's like, well, yeah, I did it. I appreciate the honesty.
As a St. Charles resident, I have gotten other calls from Mike Carter.
Yeah.
So in my mind, my brain was hearing Mike Carter's voice. So I would have been surprised if he'd been like, yeah, no, I have no idea.
Yeah. So I'm going to be reaching out. We'll have the other candidates, back on the program because, Mike Carter's presence in it could certainly spice things up.
It could, absolutely.
Okay, St. Louis police not done with the 314-day violence nonsense. So that's part of the story here. They want to find the idiots who put other people in danger, which is great. But it's not even so much that they want to get the idiots for this round. It's I think they're sending a message just saying, no, we're actually going to prosecute you when you do stupid stuff that endangers or hurts other people.
Legit.
Which we couldn't have said that as a guarantee 2 or 3 years ago. before all this would have happened, and you just shrug and go, well, Kimberly Gardner's not gonna prosecute anybody.
Yeah.
If they're on the hard left, or they meet the right demographics, she's just not going to do it. She's made that clear. Well, things are different now. So the more details that we get from what happened, we talked about this a lot yesterday. We now know more about it because the St. Louis police put out a pretty lengthy statement. Police cars were responding. We talked. We heard Mitch McCoy talk yesterday about all the 911 calls they got. So police show up, and then the police cars get surrounded in some areas of town, and they can't go anywhere. And this has been a problem for years in downtown St. Louis. And multiple shootings happened. A 14-year-old girl was shot. The two 20-something-year-old guys shot each other in another one.
With a bunch of people all around him.
Oh, a lot of people. It's amazing more people didn't get hurt.
Exactly.
And so, of course, then there was one woman who was like hanging out of a car, then it crashed and she gets thrown. So I would say, that's so horrible. I feel bad for, well, she was an idiot. So, I would say, I'm sorry you got hurt, but you F8'd and F0'd, and so that's on you. We should bill you for sweeping up the skin that you left on the ground. Ouch. on the asphalt. Ugh. Just saying, dummy. And so the difference here at this point is that not only does Kara Spencer, as mayor, realize that changes have to be made even in a city run by defund the police folks, but just as she gets in, the authority of the city to run its own police department is now going to the state because of all of these years of the city abandoning its own citizens and by abandoning police and public safety. So now they're crying uncle because the state comes in and says, you got to spend, 25% of your general revenue. David Amilati asked the attorney general yesterday, what do you consider to be that general revenue part that they need to take the money from?
Mm-hmm.
Her answer to him, and you can find this on KMOV social media, she said every dollar they take in revenue, 25% of every dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Now she says, I'm not the state auditor. She goes, but as far as I'm concerned, it should be that percentage of every dollar they take in revenue. That should go towards public safety.
Wow. Well, I mean, I don't disagree.
Right, right. And here's another part of that discussion with David Amilati from Channel 4, is that if you're going to have a reason to hope that things are going to get better, it would be this. This is from, again, KMOV and Catherine Hanaway.
Who bears responsibility for preventing a night like this? I mean, is it city officials? Is it police? Is it state leadership?
I think we all have to own some of it. And I think that St. Louis is going to get safer because we have a prosecutor, a mayor, a police chief, a U.S. attorney, an attorney general, and a governor who are all committed to reducing violent crime. It was a terrible weekend, but the trend line is getting slightly better. We should not at all take solace from that. What we should do is, since we have this great cooperation now, we should step on the gas harder.
Okay, the cooperation didn't exist a short time ago. And yes, the mayor is pushing back against the state, demanding that this sort of budgetary change be made because she's like, I'm going to have to lay off a bunch of people or take it out of other services around the city. And she's not wrong. That's true. And it's not Kara Spencer's fault that the city's in this position, other than she was on the board of aldermen before, so she was one of the votes. But here's the thing, is the city took years to dig itself into this position. It's going to take a while to fill in the hole and dig themselves out.
Yes, and the only thing I will add to that is I agree that it's not Kara's fault alone, but she did serve on the board of aldermen. She played a role in the city's governance, and she vied for the job. And, not as an outsider, not as someone who wouldn't have been well acquainted with the issues that the city is facing. So, tough job.
Very much.
No question about it. But if you really care about the city and you want it to thrive, then you're going to have to roll up your sleeves and do the tough work, which she seems to be willing to do. Right. Which is the one, that's the bright spot.
And she's very, very wisely saying this is all about basic city services.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? Law enforcement and public safety is among the most basic of the basic city services.
Right. It's like as critical as infrastructure, only just in a different.
Exactly. And so, the state's going to have to bail out the city and protect the city from itself.
Mm-hmm.
And the mayor has been basically removed from that process when it comes to public safety, but that's the position the city put itself in.
Yep, it is.
And so I know that's got to be frustrating, but that's voters, you did this to yourselves over the course of decades. And so now the state looks at a situation where Catherine Hanaway is saying, now we have a great partnership. Now we've got people on the same page here, and some are Republicans and some are Democrats. But what matters is right now the city has to be saved from itself as it continues to deteriorate and kind of implode because of terrible policies.
Well, just shining a spotlight on the difference between politicking and governing.
Yeah.
I mean, those are two separate things. And unfortunately, it just seems like for years and years and years, it's all been about the ideology and, pushing a certain agenda as opposed to, the number one agenda should be, making the city thrive, work well, work, at basic core level, work properly. And so, it is reassuring that you have leaders there now that seem to be more intent on that and more capable of that. But yeah, there's no easy fix, and it is going to require partnering even with Republicans, oh my God, to get the work done that needs to be done.
Yeah. So where we go from here, we will see. But in the meantime, go to the St. Louis City Metropolitan Police Department's social media pages. They have a lot of pictures of the morons who were putting a bunch of other people in danger and contributed to people getting hurt. So they want to go find them and arrest them. So you know what? Check them out. The pictures are there. Some of these are plain as day, man. They're very clear pictures.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
Are you partying for St. Patty's Day?
It's me you're talking about. Of course I didn't get invited to anything. So.
What about you, Susie?
I don't know about partying. I'm going to go out to dinner and get some corned beef and cabbage.
Okay, well, if any of you out there are going to party, tell us where, please, so we can go.
Please invite us.
Yeah,
please.
Please. At 7:35, we do have some information of which part of the metro is celebrating today.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. Who else seen the leprechaun say yeah?
Eyewitnesses say the leprechaun only comes out at night.
On NewsTalk From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Let's go with the thicker green outfit today, gang. It's chilly for St. Patty's Day. 37 for the high, which is about 20 degrees colder than normal for this time of year. Plenty of sunshine this morning, but clouds on the increase this afternoon and tonight as a quick clipper system scoots in. Some light snow, light rain showers around tonight, but temperatures actually climbing slowly as a warm front moves through, so no accumulation, no travel impacts. Mid to upper 30s early Wednesday, and then another spring warm-up kicks in. We'll be at 64 tomorrow afternoon. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
When I have business clients or guests from out of town, I often take them to Cafe Napoli. I know they're going to enjoy any of the Napoli locations. Cafe Napoli in Clayton, Napoli 2 in Town and Country, Napoli 3 in St. Charles, next to Napoli C, Napoli Kirkwood, or Napoli Brothers Pizza and Pasta in the Chesterfield Valley. Excellent food and intellectual conversation, if they bring the intellectual conversation. And NapoliSTL.com. NapoliSTL.com.
Larry Connor's Commentary, brought to you by Vincent's Jewelers, offering a wide selection of jewelry, including lab-grown diamonds, affordable earrings, bracelets, necklaces, and rings, up to 75% off their natural counterparts. Visit Vincent'sJewelers.com. This is Larry Connor's Commentary on News Talk STL.
A former Obama campaign manager says the midterm elections will be driven by Trump hatred. He estimates 85% of those voting will be voting anyone but Trump. That's how deep the hate runs against Trump. And if you are a Trump supporter, they hate you as well. The same source estimates that maybe 15% will vote Democrat, but really not know why, other than hating Trump. This campaign expert and another admit the real issue is not really hating Trump, but not knowing what the Democrats stand for. A recent NBC survey shows 52% of voters see the Democrats as negative. Read that as losers. Those are worse ratings than the voters give the Republicans. One Democrat campaign advisor acknowledged, "My party is a mess. We're not ready to win." Again, that's because even those in the Democrat Party don't know what the party supports. Woke activism created this Democratic crisis as they ask, are we all about transgenders, DEI, hating Jews? Watch those who answer yes and thank them for destroying the Democrat Party.
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL.
When insurance companies know you're represented by Under Law, they know Under is not going to let you be pushed around. Their reputation is built on years of courtroom battles. If you suffer an injury or damage to your property, serve the insurance company notice. You have Under Law on your side. A St. Louis firm you can trust to protect you at every term. Don't settle for less. You want to win? Believe me, Under wins. Under, O-N-D-E-R, underlaw.com.
Hi, this is Mark Harder with RE/MAX Results, the region's largest RE/MAX real estate brokerage. It is cold outside, but the real estate market is hot. This is a great time to buy or sell a home. Interest rates are also declining, which gives you more buying power. Someday is not a day on the calendar, but today is. Call me at 314-852-8933 for a free custom home buying plan. 314-852-8933.
Looking for an underwater adventure or a scaly new friend? Dive into Tropical World Pets on Watson Road. For 32 years, this family-owned wonderland has been St. Louis's go-to destination for all things aquatic and reptilian. With over 7,000 square feet of aquariums, we're home to the area's largest selection of freshwater fish, including rare cichlids you won't find anywhere else. But that's not all. We've got tarantulas, snakes, and lizards galore. Tropical World Pets, 314-849-4020, or visit twpstl.com.
Here's my problem.
Completely agree with your sentiments.
He talks about we're divided. Well, yeah, we are.
And we need to wake up as a country and realize what's going on.
101.9 and 94.1.
Number one for conservative talk.
News Talk STL.
Mike Ferguson always on top of his game because he's got Jerome making sure the morning show goes perfect. Don't forget Larry Connors USA, 6 to 8.
Green beer is the drink for me. When toasting my friend St. Patty, I'll celebrate my Irish pride. Throwing up, passed out, urinating outside.
Let's cheer! Green beer!
I'm Irish!
You wish!
I like my phone thick. I'm gonna be sick.
There's nothing like green beer!
So happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes. The green beer will be flowing soon throughout St. Louis.
Green beer. Sorry.
See, Irish green beer is the only thing that goes down that comes back up the same color.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Yeah, that's true.
I won't test that.
Yeah, you can enjoy the beer without the food coloring. I'm just saying. You can do that.
Yeah, or you can, drink something else too.
Okay. Whiskey is very Irish.
Yeah, and I'll probably just drink wine. So.
Well, there you go. So the sort of French or Italian approach to St. Patrick's Day.
Well, that kind of goes with my heritage because I am part Irish, but I'm also part French, part Italian. It's all good.
Okay. All right. So while we are fixing the St. Louis region today, a lot of stuff going on around here. RedState.com is covering all the news around the country, around the world, of course. So, Susie, what is hot on RedState.com today?
This is the Red State Rundown.
I wanted to start out by highlighting this VIP piece from our friend Jennifer Oliver O'Connell. It's kind of a neat twist on something that happened at the Oscars the other night. Plot twist. A Hollywood starlet uses her Best Actress acceptance speech to sing the praises of motherhood. And this was just sort of an organic moment where this young lady got up and accepted her award, and she was gushing over basically being a mom and being really happy with it, which is a nice pushback on some of the messaging we're getting out there these days on social media. It's a nice look at it from Jennifer, so it's worth checking out. Also up this morning from Adam Turner, a column that may be a little provocative. The 2028 Republican presidential primary race, J.D. Vance's race to lose. It's kind of taking a look at the factors that could be in play there and why it's not just a slam dunk for sure thing.
I'm not convinced it's JD's to lose. And, everybody has to wait for J.D. Vance to get out or make a big mistake. I'm not. I think that's going to be an interesting article.
Fair to assume he's the front runner, but it's definitely not a guarantee. And this is kind of a provocative look at that. And then back to the Oscars. Bob Hoag's got this piece up. Hollywood's hypocrisy exposed as elites leave trash-filled auditorium, ignore squalor and streets outside. I don't know if you saw the picture.
I saw the picture, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like a crappy movie theater. Who doesn't bring their trash out with them?
I know. Well, if you're important
apparently
enough,
the elites.
There are people to do that for me.
My goodness, that's just so rude.
Crazy. All right. Okay, the big St. Patty's Day parade was over the weekend, but Dogtown is having their festivities today. So they're having a whole thing there. By the way, the event and the drinking starts at 9 a.m.
Prompt.
Which is actually right when the show ends.
Coincidence?
Anyway, okay. Again, that is St. Patrick's Day, Dogtown. That's the only big one I could find around the area. If there's another one going on, let us know. I'll mention it out there. But Dogtown St. Patrick's Day Irish Festival starts at 9, goes from 9 to 6. A lot of food, a lot of drinks, obviously, a lot of vendors, live music. The annual Ancient Order of the Hibernians Parade is going to happen in Dogtown, floats, a lot of dancing, stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot of fun.
My dad loved him St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we do have some Irish ancestry, but not a ton. I think I'm only 6 or 7% Irish. It's according to, at least to the DNA testing. So my dad doubled that, let's just say.
Sure.
So I'm not sure what his affinity, he definitely had a German grandfather. He knows that without question. So what his affinity was for it, I don't know. But when I think of St. Patrick's Day, I think of my dad because he would go to this parade and he would be out there on Saturday too with his green blazer and he would have a green beer. One.
Just one. There you go. Did you see that Joe Biden and Donald Trump got no conversation about St. Patrick's Day?
I did not.
Yeah. I mean, and this is completely, totally not AI generated at all.
Oh, let's hear it. Of
course.
Let's hear it.
Totally true. Not AI generated, at all from the computer. But yeah, here's how that discussion went.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. I love the Irish. Tremendous people, great drinkers, very committed to the color green, similar to how I'm committed to gold. Same energy.
I'm Irish, man. The Bidens came over from Ireland. My great somebody came on a boat or a plane. Come on, man. You know the thing.
Joe, you can barely find Delaware. You're not finding Ireland.
I've been to Ireland, man. Kissed the Blarney Stone. Corn Pop would have loved that stone. He was a bad dude, but he was Irish, I think. Or was he from Scranton? Anyway, where am I?
That's the question the whole country's been asking for 4 years.
You know what the Irish say. Man, may the road always rise to meet you.
Joe, the only thing rising to meet you is the floor. Half the time you trip walking to a podium.
Look, here's the deal. Slaunch a jack.
Well done. Well done, AI.
I've got another one of these little gems later in the program.
You know what I have to say?
What's that?
I don't miss Joe.
No. I don't think Joe misses Joe. I don't think Joe knows that he's being missed. That he's not around.
No offense, but I don't miss. Yeah, boy, oof. I feel like 4 years of holding your breath, waiting to see. Well, I guess some people might feel that way about Trump, but
sure.
It's a different way. It's a more entertaining way. Let me just say that.
Yeah. There's no shortage of stuff to talk about here.
Absolutely.
By the way, a quick little fun fact. You've seen people spell St. Patty's Day a couple different ways.
Yes. Yeah. Now I know the right way.
What's the right way?
2 Ds.
That's correct. Yes, that is the correct.
St. Patty's Day.
Did you know that it's the technically the correct shortened version is with Paddy, not Patty.
Yep.
Now both are obviously it's acceptable, and by 1:30 in the afternoon, everybody's going to be drunk anyway. Doesn't matter.
But if you see someone who is named Patrick who shortens it, in this particularly, if they're from Ireland, it's almost always Paddy. Paddy is the nickname.
Okay, so here's the explanation that we got. according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary. St. Patty's Day with 2 T's and St. Patty's Day with 2 D's are interchangeable, but St. Patty's Day with the D is considered more accurate because the name Patrick is traditionally spelled Padraig, P-A-D-R-A-I-G, with nicknames Paydin, P-A-I-D-I-N, and Paddy, P-A-D-D-Y. When you're looking at the UK and Ireland and, probably to some degree Scotland, the name Patty with T's is short for Patricia. So Patty with a D is actually the correct way. This is information that if you're ever on Jeopardy, you're going to thank me someday if this is the final Jeopardy question.
Yeah, I will. Well, I would already know it, but thank you, Mike.
You knew that. I did not know that until this morning. I'm just saying here. So, here's another thing that's interesting is that Patty over in the UK is sometimes considered it's a slur, derogatory slur, if somebody who's English says it to somebody who's Irish.
Yeah, they have all those kind of subtle slurs.
Yeah, except on a day like today.
In which case, it's
Today
okay.
they're given a pass to do it, but calling an Irishman Paddy, if they're actually from Ireland, may get their dander up just a little bit.
What about Paddy Wagon?
That's after they drink too much green beer.
Okay, just checking.
Then that's where they end up. But you can't go wrong saying Patrick.
No. But yeah, I mean, I know that people are kind of mock it as, it's just an excuse to drink. But yeah, why not? I mean, we need one in every month, right?
Right. Hey, you look at all the holidays the Europeans get. We don't get hardly any compared to what they get over there.
I mean, and it's, there's something about spring, everything's turning green. There's just, I don't know. I've always loved St. Patrick's Day.
All right, so where's the party this afternoon? Let us know. Yeah. We know one's in Dogtown, but if there's somewhere else, let us know.
All right. Well, I know where our party's going to be on the 25th, next Wednesday. Missouri's tax future, competitiveness, reforms, and proposed policies. The Hammond Institute and NewsTalkSTL are presenting the Vice President of State Tax Policy for the Tax Foundation, Manish Bhatt. That's Wednesday, March 25th from 6:30 to 7:30 on the Lindenwood University campus. It's part of the H.F. Langenberg Speaker Series. Don't miss this discussion about Missouri's tax competitiveness and the current individual income tax and property tax elimination efforts. The event is free, but you must RSVP. For more information, go to hammondinstitute.org.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Everyone knows you capture a leprechaun, you get 3 wishes, right? So we gotta think very carefully what our next 2 are here. I wish I could live forever. What are you doing? I wish you don't. How about No, why did you do that? Why did you do that?
On News Talk STL.
Jamie Allman here for Window World. Did you know that Window World offers a lifetime warranty that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor? They are one of the only 2 replacement windows with the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. Window World St. Louis has been owned and operated by a group of born and raised St. Louis residents for more than 23 years, and now Window World is offering 36 months same as cash financing with approved credit. Call them today, 800-GET-WINDOWS for a free in-home, no-pressure estimate. That's Window World at 800-GET-WINDOWS.
This year, America turns 250, and News Talk STL is celebrating our nation's semi-quincentennial all year long. News Talk STL, #1 for live and local Soros-free talk, with proud supporters of our 250th birthday celebration. Roman T. Jewelers, Luxury Driver STL, Harry J. Steakhouse, and Snooze Mattress. 250 years strong, and we're just getting started. 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
The Hammond Institute at Lindenwood University and News Talk STL invite you to an exclusive discussion on Missouri's tax future. Manish Bhatt, Vice President of State Tax Policy for the Tax Foundation, will explore our state's tax competitiveness and the latest efforts to eliminate individual income tax and property tax. Wednesday, March 25th at Lindenwood University, part of the H.F. Langenberg Speaker Series. The event is free, but you must RSVP at hammondinstitute.org. That's hammondinstitute.org.
Good morning, St. Louis. Hey, it's Vince from The Vince Show right here on News Talk STL every weeknight at 8. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Dropkick Murphys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shipping up to Boston.
That's right. Nice. Okay, that's such great stuff. I mean, are they kind of left-wing dolts when they open their mouth about politics? Sure. But, yeah, I really like the Dropkick Murphys. I got a couple back in the old days of the CDs. I got a few Dropkick Murphys CDs that were, well, I don't know where they are now. They've been in a box somewhere.
With your birth certificate, right?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I think it's in a, I'm not sure where that is. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm ever be able to vote again.
Maybe not.
I know. It's possible.
If you need help getting an ID, I can try.
Okay. You mentioned this a little bit earlier because you need to, renew?
I think I'm due to renew this year. I'm pretty sure. And I did not get a real ID the last time because I learned that I do need my marriage certificate, even though I've been divorced for 20 some odd years, because of the name change. And of course, I didn't have that with me when I went to the driver's license bureau. I didn't care that much because I don't fly. But I do need to get that put together this time around.
Well,
so can I do it? Will I be able to do it? Do you think I can do it? Do I need help?
Well, under the SAFE Act, you'll never, ever, ever be able to vote again.
Never,
forever.
That might be an incentive for someone to keep me from getting it.
And we talked to Terris Todd from Project 21 a little bit earlier about this with the SAVE Act. But is there an actual nugget of truth there that you said, yeah, maybe a little bit of a pain in the butt to go get that, but if you got approved citizenship, it may be a pain in the butt, but it's pain in the butt for you. But for others, could that be even a small barrier to that? Is there a kernel of truth, or is this just much ado about nothing and Democrats just don't want to have election integrity?
I think that so there's two different things, of course. There's the ID, which I think every state has a way that you can get a photo ID even if you don't have a driver's license. So it's and for free. So they've actually gone out of their way to make sure that that's not an impediment to voting. The citizenship part of it, proving it when you register to vote. Yeah, I mean, tracking down your birth certificate could be difficult, particularly for older individuals, particularly people that were maybe born in rural areas or poor. I mean, that could be an issue, but there are workarounds. And so in my observation, there's always been this effort to say, look, we'll help people do this.
Right.
We don't want to make it hard for people who are American citizens to vote.
Yeah, I mean, right now, how would I prove my citizenship? Well, I guess I'd get my birth certificate, which I can do from the state. I've had to do it a number of times. You can get an official birth certificate from wherever state you're born in. In Missouri, you can go online and order one, and they will mail it right to you. Or you can get it from most county office, health departments is where you can get it, regardless of what part of the state you're born in.
Here's my invitation. I want anyone who is unable to register to vote and or to cast a vote because of identification issues to reach out to us, and we will help you remedy that situation. I will make it my mission in life because I'd be willing to bet the people of that would apply to is very, very small amount at most. And the only pushback other than because we want to cheat that the left has on that.
Yeah, so we talked to Terris Todd a little bit earlier. That's going to be up on our podcast. That was a pretty interesting conversation on it because he didn't shy away from, well, let's talk about the reality of what they're arguing. Is there any validity to it? I thought he answered that all pretty well. All right, 7:52 right now. This is that weird time of year where sports is the news.
Yes.
Especially in a city like St. Louis. Because the final, the March Madness starts in St. Louis tomorrow. Now, it's part of the West Regional, so it's not going to finish in St. Louis, but Mizzou plays this week at the Enterprise Center. So there's a lot of basketball. You're going to see folks starting to show up in town tomorrow for the games, which I think start at the Enterprise Center on Thursday. I think Mizzou plays Friday, I think.
I'm not sure.
But you're going to see people next day or so really starting to show up for that as well. I want to give kind of a shout out to Albert Pujols here. I mentioned this just real briefly a second ago. Of course, Albert Pujols, it was actually kind of fun watching him be the manager of the Dominican Republic's team during the World Baseball Classic. And it's funny because he's like one of these guys that he's retired and he enjoys the buffet and the drink. Now, he's not in playing shape anymore. He just looks like an experienced guy, been around the game, he's got his glasses on, his big, big, thick, teacher glasses now. And, it was fun watching him be a manager. And, of course, after the Dominican Republic lost to the U.S. the other night, a lot of people are talking about that called third strike.
Mm-hmm.
And I put up a blog. Joe Posnanski put up a blog. Of course, he's arguing for more, automated balls and strikes. And some of the guys in my baseball league, I put that up on their Facebook page. They're like, hey, wait a minute. Look where that ball is coming in. It's not where the catcher caught it. Look where, and so, basically the umpire had a call to make and he made the call, and that's part of the game. That's essentially what Albert Pujols said, because media was hoping that he would, complain and blame the umpire and, yell injustice. And what he said was, that was not the totality of the game. I'm not going to focus on one call. It wasn't meant to be for us this year.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that is a very, very classy answer to a controversial call. And remember, we made in America, we'll go, it's just a baseball game. Not in the Dominican Republic.
It's an important baseball game. It's really important.
Not in Puerto Rico, not in Venezuela. That baseball is embedded in the culture.
Mm-hmm.
This hits people really hard. But his reaction shows, okay, from a manager's perspective, at least he's ready to deal with the media. Now, I'll let the baseball experts determine whether or not he's ready to be a major league manager or not. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, he did a really good job with that team. Of course, that was arguably one of the greatest baseball talent rosters ever put together. I could have won some games managing that. But, it was just, he just showed so much class. And that's what we were used to when he was here in St. Louis, both times that he had to stop here. So, tip of the cap to Albert Pujols on that. Let's see here. So tonight, Team USA plays Venezuela tonight at 7 o'clock for the World Baseball World Baseball Classic Championship. That's going to be on Fox, so Channel 2 at 7 hours. So 12 hours from right now, it's on.
I know what you're going to be doing.
Yes.
You're going to be watching.
I will take a nap early so I can watch more of the game later on tonight.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to be out to dinner, so I'll probably miss a lot of it. But
we'll go to a sports bar. Then you can get the best.
We're going to a specific place.
Oh, okay.
With reservations.
Well, tell them to turn the TV on.
It doesn't have TVs.
Stare at your phone instead.
You know what? I'm going to enjoy a nice dinner.
I say stare at your phone instead of whoever you're with.
I'm going to enjoy a nice dinner with my boyfriend and enjoy the evening. And the baseball game is secondary to me.
He's a sports guy. He'll understand.
It's not about understanding. That's not my priority.
David's like, I'm going to smack him the next time I see him.
Yes.
All right. Okay, how about this? Battlehawks.
Yeah.
We're not that far away from Battlehawks season.
Caw.
Here is head coach rock and roll Ricky Prohl talking about what he's seeing from the team so far.
I think what stands out about this team is the energy in which they practice and play with. They care about each other. They encourage each other. And that's what, to be a championship football team, we have to have selfless players that play for each other. That they understand that they're not always going to be the star of the game, and sometimes you got to do the dirty work for your teammate, and that's part of winning. And that's what we have the chemistry on this football team to be really good. It's like I said, we're not where we are going to be in a couple weeks from now, but we're getting there, and that's encouraging as a coach, for a coach.
All right. Once again, head coach Ricky Prohl there. Season opens. They get the Battlehawks are going to open at home. They're going to open at the Dome. That is going to be Saturday, the 28th of this month. So the good news is we're starting the season at home. It's also an 11 a.m. game for national television coverage. The UFL schedules the Battlehawks in the daytime. 11, noon, sometimes 1 o'clock a lot. 1, because they get that national TV coverage. But also, I think the feedback has been, don't do downtown games at night if you want to maximize your attendance. I'm not making a joke. I think that's probably part of the equation.
That makes sense.
I mean, I would not go to a night football game, but 11 o'clock, noon, 1, I'll go do that.
Sure.
Because I can get out of there before nightfall happens as well. But the good news is starting the season at home, plenty of tickets available. They are on sale right now. I know they sold a lot already. The bad news is that we start off against the DC Defenders, who kind of ate our lunch last year, except for that last game.
We'll turn it around.
Yeah, now's the time. So we're going to start off with a rival, basically.
A celebration 100 years in the making. The National Route 66 Centennial Kickoff Celebration, presented by Vital Farms. Thursday, April 30th through Sunday, May 3rd in Springfield. The celebration kicks off with musical guests featuring Little Big Town, Chris Jansen, Gary LaVox, Gretchen Wilson, the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, and the Haygoods. Events continue through the weekend. You are invited to celebrate Route 66 with us, April 30th. Tickets and information on Route66Kickoff.com. Brought to you by the Missouri Route 66 Centennial Commission.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more. Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA. So we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day. Evaluations are free. A+ rated with the BBB and a lot of 5-star Google reviews. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefontaine, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewsTalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Israel's defense minister has announced that Iran's security chief was killed in an overnight strike. The BBC's Jeremy Bowen says Ali Larijani had emerged as Iran's most prominent government leader.
Over the years, he has been seen as a man of flexibility, somebody who sees all the angles. And he's seen as a man that maybe you could do business with. But the issue is, the Israelis don't want to do business with any of them. They have said time and again, and this has been a career-long preoccupation for the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, that they want to get rid of the regime in Tehran.
Israel reports that the commander of Iran's Basij military force is also dead today. Between bad weather and the ongoing partial government shutdown, it's been a rough week for air travelers.
Hundreds of flights are canceled or delayed a day after powerful storms swept across the eastern half of the country. The flight tracking site FlightAware says more than 750 flights have been canceled. Travelers have been facing additional jams at airport security checkpoints as a partial government shutdown that began February 14th has added pressure on staffing at security checkpoints. TSA union leaders say that TSA workers are coping with eviction notices, vehicle repossessions, empty refrigerators, and overdrawn bank accounts, saying they would like a paycheck, not a rain check. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Rescue crews are digging bodies out of the rubble of a drug rehabilitation hospital in Afghanistan's capital. Officials say an overnight Pakistani airstrike killed at least 400 people in what is seen as a dramatic escalation of the 3-week conflict between the neighboring countries. Stock futures up slightly. More at townhall.com.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener. Like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV. But if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to it at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Let's go with the thicker green outfit today, gang. It's chilly for St. Paddy's Day. 37 for the high, which is about 20 degrees colder than normal for this time of year. Plenty of sunshine this morning, but clouds on the increase this afternoon and tonight as a quick clipper system scoots in. Some light snow, light rain showers around tonight, but temperatures actually climbing slowly as a warm front moves through, so no accumulation, no travel impacts. Mid to upper 30s early Wednesday, and then another spring warm-up kicks in. We'll be at 64 tomorrow afternoon. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros and Exteriors, your all-in-one service team that brings years of experience and quality that's affordable right to your doorstep. Christine and I discovered Gutter Pros and Exteriors when we bought our home and inherited a gutter problem. And they've also repaired siding damage on our home because along with gutter repair, gutter installation, and leaf protection, the Gutter Pros team are also the best for repairing other exterior damage, including fascia, soffit, and all siding repair and installation. Learn about all the ways Gutter Pros and Exteriors can help your home or business right now at gutterpros.com.
Tim Jones here for Comprehensive Chiropractic in Eureka, the premier chiropractic and sports performance facility in the region. They've helped me recover from day-to-day aches and pains for years. And here's something special, personal training programs. Whether you're an athlete committed to increasing performance, recovering from an injury, or just want to get healthier and lose weight, their personal training programs will help you reach your goals and stay there. Comprehensive Chiropractic in Eureka, online at cchiropractic.com. That's cchiropractic.com.
Mike Ferguson.
Big guy, one of the biggest in the world.
Susie Moore.
Do you think he's ready?
He's not ready.
Can't you hear the alarm?
Get up, St. Louis.
I have a feeling that by the end of this evening, I'm going to be playing for everything.
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
It has been pushed off of the headlines, but the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie is still unsolved. And Susie, this, of course, was in the headlines everywhere for a number, of weeks. And then, as we thought would happen, is it sort of got pushed off by other things, obviously much bigger things like the Iran war. But the story's not over.
No, it's not.
All right, we are now joined by Nils Grevillius, expert on crime, private investigator, decades of experience, author of the book The Last Lawman, True Stories of a Private Detective. And Nils, one of the things the local law enforcement is saying, and if I'm reading right, you're saying as well, is this may not be an isolated case. Is it possible that whoever is responsible for Nancy Guthrie's disappearance could actually strike again?
Well, it's a possibility, but I don't think it's a probability. I'm going to step out of the box here and gainsay the sheriff. I think he's just trying to keep the media at bay while his detectives work with the Bureau to try to solve this thing. It could just as likely, it's more likely that it's somebody that Nancy knew. I'm gonna go with this. Like 36 hours after this disappearance, it was in local media, not national media, that there was no signs of a break-in at the house, but the sheriff characterized the house as a crime scene. And then they showed the blood trail on going out the front door. What that tells me is that there's a very good chance that Ms. Guthrie knew or thought she knew the person banging on her door at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Nils, what has been your takeaway just watching as this has developed? I mean, we've gotten different press conference information from the sheriff's office. It seems like the story of this disappearance has kind of varied. We've got, it's not a crime scene. It is a crime scene. It's not a, we've gotten a lot of mixed information about it. What, in your experience, is this due to, confusion on the part of law enforcement, or is this the media spin?
Well, I think it's the sheriff trying to keep the media at arm's length while preserving his value as a politician in southeastern Arizona. He did not come from the ranks as a detective or patrol deputy, from my understanding. He came up in the jail system. So he's got a shelf life as sheriff. If his detectives can't solve this crime, In fact, there's already a recall being adumbrated in Pima County, Arizona, to recall him.
Nils, with the sheriff saying, the suspect could absolutely strike again. I mean, from a media perspective, that could be, making things more uneasy in the community because this has gone on for so long. What would be the better way to handle the relations? Because you obviously want people, to help out if they know something, but people have really connected with this on a personal level, even though most of us don't know Nancy Guthrie and never have. So what is it that the sheriff should maybe think about doing differently when it comes to managing the media circus that is something like this?
Well, I think he's doing the best that he can in terms of that. It's not a bad foray to go out in front of the media and say that it could occur again. Well, absolutely, it could occur again if Nancy Guthrie thought she knew or did know the person banging on her door. This was not a serial killer or something like that. This is a targeted attack. And no one should believe that the purpose of this was robbery, because if you're just going to rob the woman, you leave her at home. You don't take her with. So I think there's more afoot here. I think the Bureau is combing through cellular telephone data, going over all communications of everybody that they've interviewed. The sheriff's detectives are better positioned to do local interviews of witnesses, potential witnesses, that sort of thing. They have a very capable homicide unit in Pima County, and that would fall to them, their major crimes unit, to do the interviews. They're probably doing the interviews over, because my certainty as a detective is that they have missed something on a prior interview.
One of the big twists in this case kind of emerged by, surprise. Initially, we were told that there really wasn't recoverable camera footage from the front door camera, and then later there was some that they were able to retrieve, I think, by going deep into the databases to retrieve it. Was there anything about that footage when it was released that caught your eye?
Well, there was the remarkable way in which the assailant was carrying his gun. It was unconcealed and in front. Arizona's a constitutional carry state. You can carry a gun any way you want in Arizona as long as you're not a prohibited person. It suggested to me that it's somebody not used to carrying a gun illegally. When you're carrying a gun and committing a crime, you are carrying a gun illegally. Also, he removed the camera after first trying to obscure it with weeds. And that's interesting to me. If he had cased the job better, using the vernacular of the criminal, he would know that there was a Ring camera and that he should bring some tape with him. Perhaps he thought he was avoiding a forensic photography problem by removing the camera and taking it with him. But this was, as you say, recovered from the cloud or the database, that sort of thing. Something that was released last week was going over other camera footage. There was absolutely nothing seen in back after a media source had been claiming that to have inside information that the back door was the point of entry. I think that the guy came in the front door, and I think that if it wasn't broken down, Nancy Guthrie admitted him because she knew him or thought she knew him.
We are visiting with Nils Grevillius. He is a private detective in Los Angeles and the author of the book, The Last Lawman, True Stories of a Private Detective. And we're now looking at about a month and a half, 40 some days since Nancy Guthrie disappeared on this. How bad is the time factor if you're hoping to find her alive and well?
My belief is she's probably been dead since that night.
And is that
I don't think she's going to be recovered alive. I don't want to break anybody's heart here, nor do I want to get too macabre with the civilian audience. Ms. Moore, Mr. Ferguson, I think she was murdered that night.
What is it that makes you believe that?
The blood trail, the lack of communication, the fact that the sheriff characterized the interior of the house as a crime scene without going into any detail above and beyond that, nor should he provide that detail at this point.
And when you look at the investigation at this point, I mean, I would assume that this many days out, that's probably what they're looking at. But how does that change, or does it change the search or the processing of clues when you're looking for somebody who may still be alive versus somebody you believe may have been killed?
Well, if you believe that the woman's still alive, you're going to be looking for people purchasing the drugs needed to keep her alive, given her heart condition. That would be one thing. But other than that, you're still going to be covering the basics, the interviews, the cellular data, the communications, all of that.
Nils, tell us about the last lawman. What would you like our listeners to know?
Well, I've been running and gunning on the streets of Los Angeles and other places for a long time, more than 3 decades. I was a Pinkerton man before that, and in the Army even before that. It's my true-to-life memoir. It's got some surprises in it, but I don't give up who any of my clients are in this book, nor shall I. It's mostly about what got me into the job, what the job was like, what the job did to me, and what I did to the job.
Nils, in a situation like this, I mean, obviously high profile because of Nancy Guthrie's daughter, Savannah Guthrie. Are there still times when private detectives are brought in to work parallel with law enforcement, or is that just something you see in the movies and TV?
Well, yes, private detectives are occasionally brought in as specialists. Just a few years ago, I partnered with a law enforcement agency to bring in a rapist who then tried to hire the Mexican mafia to kill his victim and her children from the Los Angeles County Jail. I took him at gunpoint in 2011 in a house in San Marino. More recently, you remember the 2 San Bernardino Islamic terrorists that shot up the community center there, Christmas of 2015, and Apple wouldn't open their iPhones for the FBI. Well, a colleague of mine in Canada, who's a private detective and a forensicist, is the one who finally cracked the phones.
Yeah, I guess all hands on deck is always a good thing. So, Nils, first of all, appreciate the time that you've given us on this. When you look at a case like the Nancy Guthrie case or some of these other, high-profile crimes against persons cases, they just rightly or wrongly resonate with so many people more so than often crimes in our own backyard. Is there anything that we can learn from the crimes with the national exposure like this, the more dramatic ones, that we can apply to our local areas as well?
Well, we have to vote very carefully for whom we put into sheriff, city council, that sort of thing. If we have a bad police department, sheriff's department, it's almost always because of how we voted. People complain to me about the LAPD, and I ask them, well, who did you vote for on the city council, for the mayor? Things like that. It's a real lesson. I mean, we get what we vote for.
Yeah, without a doubt. All right, once again, the book is called The Last Lawman, True Stories of a Private Detective. I'm assuming we can find that pretty much anywhere we get, books, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, things like that. Do you have a website or social media you want us to connect with, Nils?
At Detective Nils on X. That's where you can find me. I'm looking forward to having the book delivered in June, just in time for Father's Day. And I'd love to be on your show again, Ms. Moore, Mr. Ferguson. That would be lovely.
We will make that happen. Nils Grevillius, thank you so much for the time. This has been fascinating.
It's my sincere pleasure. Take care.
Once again, you can pretty much check out that book anywhere, and we'll try to get that link once it's up and ready on the NewsTalkSTL bookstore as well. So, yeah, Susie, I mean, people just resonate with this on a personal level. But as we said, at some point, another news story comes along and pushes it off. And obviously, we've got such massive stories. This was very predictable. And a lot of people are probably listening going, oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Right. Yeah. It's already been pushed off the front pages, so to speak. But it is great to get a perspective from somebody who has kind of that insight from having experienced and gone through this on that side of things.
Exactly. All right, 314-912-1019. Got some thoughts on that. Otherwise, we've got the news dump coming your way here in just about 2 minutes and 37 seconds right here on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Before you blow us all away. Get up, can't you hear the alarm?
When you're talking about any kind of home improvement or kind of renovation, there's a lot of factors that go into that, but one of the most important things is who are you working with? Can you trust them? Well, that's one of the reasons that my friends at STL Fence Works does so well, and they've been in business for 50 years here in the St. Louis region. Mike Ferguson here for STL Fence Works. Listen, Sean Long and his family and his company, they have earned a stellar reputation. Don't believe me? Go look them up. Look at the reviews on Better Business Bureau and Yelp and all of the others. They have been a family-owned business for decades here, and you don't stay in business and thrive unless you're delivering a quality product and doing quality work and you stand behind it, and that's exactly what they do. One of the things that makes them different, American-made materials. This is an advantage that means better pricing right now, and also faster installation. And here's the thing. They are going to guarantee that you are satisfied with that fence or that deck or whatever it is that you need that's going to improve the home, just the environment, how you're going to enjoy your property, but also keep it safer as well. And here's the thing. They've now got an online estimator tool. This is so cool. So go to stlfenceworks.com. Basically put in your address right there, and you can get an online estimate, kind of a ballpark of the project that you want. You don't have to worry about having somebody come out and give you a hard sales pitch. I mean, they don't do that anyway, but you can do it yourself. You're in control. stlfenceworks.com. Just check it out. It's going to be fun. And then if you like what you see and the ballpark is there, you know what? Then you can get in touch, and they can show you what they can do for you. And the materials they're using, by the way, it's not even just who you do business with. It's how they build this, okay? You can go get the stuff from the home improvement store and have your cousin's buddy do it because he needs a second job or whatever. But you can go to STL Fence Works and have the professionals do it and have materials that you're not going to have to stain and treat every other year, that you're not going to have to replace in a few years because these are long-lasting, they're guaranteed, they're warranted, and they're going to improve the look of your home. They're going to improve the safety of your home for your animals and your kids, and it's just also going to make that home that investment, so it's not just a property, it's your actual home. So check out that online tool. It's really cool. stlfenceworks.com.
Hey, when pests invade your home, you need someone you can trust. It's Jamie Allman here, and at Buckingham Pest Control, they're not just your exterminators. They're your neighbors and friends. A locally owned family business and St. Louis Magazine A-List award winner, providing affordable, quality pest control. Plus, they offer energy-efficient TAP attic insulation, the only insulation that controls pests. BuckinghamPestControl.com. That's BuckinghamPestControl.com.
Hi, I'm Jen Wallner.
And I'm Rodney Wallner with the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway.
Hey, Rodney, how do you sell your home for top dollar?
That's easy. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What if I want a flexible commission rate?
Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
When's the best time to sell your home?
Right now. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
For all your real estate needs, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
That's 314-810-SOLD.
And then the media.
101.9 and 94.1.
They lying about what's going on in America. They lying about it.
News Talk STL.
None can tell me, Sean O'Farrell, tell me why you hurry so. Hush a vocal, hush and listen, and his cheeks were all aglow. I bear orders from the captain, get you ready quick and soon, for the pikes must be together at the rising of the moon.
Bill O'Reilly here. Check out the O'Reilly Update this afternoon at 3:45. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Sometimes we just need an excuse to get out and then just do frivolity, you know?
Yeah.
And St. Patrick's Day is good as any, right?
Yeah.
Just saying. All right. Let me know, again, everybody, if there's some celebration. I know Dogtown's having probably the biggest one in the area because the huge one happened over the weekend. But Dogtown, they're going to get going here in about 45 minutes or so. All right, let's talk about what's going on around the area and maybe around the country as well. State resources may step in to help the city deal with all of the violence and really crack down on the crime. I would say once and for all, but at least for right now. St. Louis County is going to consider a formal declaration opposing a merger with the aforementioned city. Whether they approve it or not remains to be seen, but they're going to talk about it here in a little while. And Team USA plays for the championship tonight. It is 8:22. Let's go ahead and squeeze in one more news dump here.
Successful dump.
Wake up, America.
It all worked out.
You know, I mean, they got all the news.
The morning news dump.
Okay, so there's a lot more fallout from the 314-day stupidity that happened around the city.
Ay, caramba.
Yeah, this turns out this has got some residual effects. This is a bigger deal. I think a lot of people in the city have basically, they're getting to a point where they've had it before. They hated it, and they realized there was nothing that was going to be done. They tolerated it. But now what's happening right now is that people are realizing we don't have to live like this.
Yeah, there's no it's just unacceptable what was going on.
Yeah. So St. Louis City Police are looking for those involved in the 314-day violence, including people who surrounded police cars and stopped those police cars from getting to emergency calls. KMOV's David Amilati spoke with Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway about the weekend violence, which, included several shootings.
What does this say about the current state of public safety in St. Louis?
Well, I think it says a couple of things. Number one, that we don't have enough police officers. We are still down considerably, hundreds of officers from full strength, and that we're not paying those men and women enough, which is why there's such a hard time recruiting them. But we have men and women who dedicate their lives to serving us. And when something like this happens, and it happens all over the city, there's violence all over the city this weekend. There's these quote-unquote slideshows. There's fireworks being set off. There's no way that a minimized force can take care of everything. It also says mom and dad have to be more involved in parenting.
Among those who were shot include a 14-year-old girl who was involved in, some of these big, stupid things that were happening. I think 6 or 7 different calls of shootings or shots fired around different parts of the city. This wasn't just at one area.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the footage that's been posted on social media, and I can just say that it's incredible that more people were not carrying and defending themselves, because that could have gotten much worse bloodshed-wise if people had exercised their Second Amendment rights and their right to basically defend themselves.
They also had a right to not go do stupid stuff in the middle of the street, and they chose not to exercise that right, too.
Well, yeah, you always have the right not to be a nuisance to society.
Yeah. St. Louis Police, by the way, have posted several pictures of suspects on social media. They're asking for tips. They're going to pursue it, it looks like. All right, city officials considering changes to the curfew for minors starting this weekend. Now, currently, juveniles are not supposed to be out without a parent or guardian between midnight and 6 a.m. on Friday and Saturday nights, and between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. Sundays through Thursdays. The discussion is about moving the start time of that curfew up. And whether they do it at all, and if so, how much, remains to be seen. But they'll need to make a decision on that next day or two if they want that to go into effect starting this weekend.
Well, then you're also going to have the issue of making sure it gets enforced if they do that.
Which is, I remember when we first started this radio station, we were downtown at Union Station for, a couple years, 2-3 years, 4 years, 3 years, I guess. And I would drive downtown and I'd get to work at 3 in the morning or 3:15 or 3:30 in the morning. I saw kids all over the place, multiple times, not every day, but at one point I saw like a whole flock of them on those like bird scooters right there by Union Station at 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, all, these teenagers. So, it happens. All right. St. Louis County Council is going to consider a resolution opposing any possible city-county merger. Councilman Dennis Hancock, who is running for county executive, is proposing that at tonight's meeting. Current executive Sam Page, of course, as you know, he is not running for re-election because he's facing criminal charges, among other reasons. He is suggesting adding the city back into the county. The Great Divorce happened in 1876, and we will have Dennis Hancock on the show a little bit later on this week. Primary election day in Illinois. Among the main elections of interest to conservatives would be the Republican race for governor. 4 candidates are on the GOP ballot, with the main 2 being former state senator Darren Bailey and former WirePoint's executive Ted Dabrowski, who's also done a lot of work with Illinois Policy Institute. The winner will then face off against J.B. Pritzker in November. Maybe the biggest race for the Democrats would be the nomination for U.S. Senate, because whoever wins that nomination, in all likelihood, is going to kind of cruise to victory in November.
And it's very important to show up, even if you are not as optimistic and hopeful as I am. I believe in you, Illinois, to make the right decision. But if you don't show up, you can't send the message that you're tired of the way Illinois has become.
Yep. Okay, President Trump talking to reporters on Monday, calling on other countries to help the U.S. defend the Strait of Hormuz from Iranian attacks. The president says that the U.S. and other countries obviously rely on oil that goes through the strait for the economies around the world, adding that Iran's going to continue to use that as an economic weapon against the world. President Trump also claiming that he's already heard from some countries that are interested in helping the U.S.
Numerous countries have told me they're on the way. Some are very enthusiastic about it, and some aren't. Some are countries that we've helped for many, many years. We've protected them from horrible outside sources, and they weren't that enthusiastic.
Missile and drone attacks from Iran are down basically 90 to 95% at this point. It looks like our military has just obliterated most of the official Iranian capability at this point. So now at some point you're like, okay, the proxy groups are going to be stepping up, and they've got Iranian money and they've got Russian money, and Russia's about to get a lot more money because the sanctions being lifted. And of course, they've got access to Chinese resources as well. So we'll see whether or not the U.S. just finishes this job or whether the proxies get extra support to fight back.
Yeah, and especially in the UK, Germany, France, a lot of our NATO allied nations have a large population of people that support Sharia law. And so I'm wondering if, due to these populations already being in the countries, is that why they don't want to get involved and help us with the strait? Because they don't want these groups saying, well, you took a side against us. We're going to start, within your own country. So.
I'm sure. Well, that's the definition of terrorism, too.
Yeah.
All right. If you know somebody who just hates America and say they want to leave, they don't want to be a part of this country anymore, well, let them know it's now cheaper to follow through.
Oh,
they can do that. It's going to cost them less money.
Can I pay to have other people's citizens for folks?
Yes. Somebody said, I'll pay for a couple of those to leave. You can do it. The U.S. State Department has cut the fee to renounce your citizenship by 80%. So instead of $2,350, you can now become a not American for the low, low price of $450. That just covers the paperwork and the administrative fees.
Now, do they also have to agree? Do they have to consent to me revoking their citizenship?
Yeah, they've got to consent. We can't do it for them, but if you decide you're one of those who just, I hate America, I'm scared, I've got to leave this country, I don't want to be an American, basically Marco Rubio and the State Department went, okay, we'll make it easy and cheap for you.
There are a lot of celebrities I'd be willing to pay for that service for.
Yep. All right, Team USA takes on Venezuela for the World Baseball Classic Championship tonight. Venezuela gets to the championship round by beating Italy 4-2 last night. First pitch in Miami tonight, 7 o'clock. That game's going to be on Fox, so Channel 2. Cardinals have a 12:05 game this afternoon against the Nationals. That's going to be on Cardinals TV and MLB Network.
Hush and listen, and his cheeks were all aglow. I bear orders from the captain, get you ready quick and soon. For the pikes.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Always be yourself, unless you suck.
On NewsTalk STL.
The rising of the moon. For the pikes must be together at the rising of the moon.
From the Michael's Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Let's go with the thicker green outfit today, gang. It's chilly for St. Patty's Day. 37 for the high, which is about 20 degrees colder than normal for this time of year. Plenty of sunshine this morning, but clouds on the increase this afternoon and tonight as a quick clipper system scoots in. Some light snow, light rain showers around tonight, but temperatures actually climbing slowly as a warm front moves through, so no accumulation, no travel impacts. Mid to upper 30s early Wednesday, and then another spring warm-up kicks in. We'll be at 64 tomorrow afternoon. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Fox News commentary with Guy Benson next.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Here's Guy Benson.
This terrorist was not given a maximum sentence for trying to join ISIS. He traveled abroad to join one of the most evil terrorist groups in the world. We caught him, we brought him back, we tried him, and he received a sentence that was less than the maximum, and then he got out early. And then with that leniency, what did he do? Apparently got himself a gun and tried to murder as many people as he could at Old Dominion while shouting Allahu Akbar. What on earth are we doing in this country? What is the argument against denaturalizing someone who was welcomed into this country and then chose to go try to join ISIS. Why was he still here? If we decide, okay, this person is guilty of trying to join ISIS, why don't we put him in prison for as long as humanly possible? And as soon as we know that that prison sentence is expiring, we get him on the first plane out back to wherever he came from.
For more commentary like this, go to foxnewspodcast.com.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness One. Wellness One is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on NewsTalkSTL. And you can visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
License number GL250000615.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Home power used to be simple. Now the car plugs in, the scooter plugs in, the space heater plugs in, and your electric panel starts popping.
That sounds bad, but I like popcorn.
Popcorn is great, sparks are not. Call Grasser. We'll upgrade your panel so you can run it all.
Electric and plumbing, the Grasser way.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Life's legal challenges deserve experienced representation. For over 15 years, Cole Combs Attorney at Law has been serving St. Charles and surrounding counties with comprehensive legal expertise. From tax preparation and estate planning to family law and criminal defense, Cole delivers personalized solutions for your unique situation. You have traffic tickets, need a business formation, real estate matters, one call will handle it all. Cole O. Combs Attorney at Law. Call 636-949-0010 extension 3 today or visit colecombs-law.com.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Download the all-new NewsTalk STL app.
Love the all-new NewsTalk STL app.
On my way to work in the morning.
Usually I'm in the car.
I listen on the app in my car every morning going to work.
Download the NewsTalk STL app and listen anytime, anywhere.
I'm at my home by the gasworks wall. I dream the dream by that old canal.
Let's get back to all this madcap mayhem with Mike Ferguson in the morning. But don't forget, stick around for Jones and Arps every Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m.
I've heard this song, but I don't know who it's from.
Oh, the song itself is famous. This specific cover is by Cutthroat Shamrock.
Got it. Okay.
Authentic Irish band.
Did you find any of the Elders?
The Elders?
The Elders, yeah. That's a great Irish rock band out of Kansas City.
Oh, no. I wish you would have requested that.
I know. I just it's funny because I used to work with the singer's wife when I did TV news over in Kansas City like 25 years ago or 30 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're the Elders are so much fun. So check them out. They tour through here every once in a while. They've got a real good following throughout the Midwest, basically.
And the weird thing is that the music itself is just so fun to listen to, but then the actual lyrics are incredibly depressing. I mean,
look at the Dropkick Murphys. Remember that one song they had, the really slow one about basically sitting down next to a 18-year-old soldier's grave.
Wow.
And just lamenting, kind of what would your story have been. And I'm trying to remember the name of that one, but it's like you can't tear yourself away from the song, but it's soul crushing.
Maybe that's why St. Patrick's Day is so big. Is it's so depressing to be in Ireland that it's like we need at least one day to feel good.
Yes,
right?
And that's why they drink. I don't know. All right, I want to talk about the police and the 314-day thing and how that's affecting like the whole region, including St. Louis County as well in a minute. But speaking of St. Patty's Day, that John Kennedy, Senator John Kennedy and Donald Trump got into a conversation about this.
Oh.
Yeah, and again, totally not AI generated off of the internet that I would have found with the Baby Trump Facebook page.
100% legit.
No, totally. Here's that conversation between the national treasure, John Kennedy, and Donald Trump.
Mr. President, happy St. Patrick's Day. Back in Louisiana, we celebrate by drinking something green and regretting it by noon. So it's basically a Tuesday.
John, I love St. Patrick's Day. Nobody loves the Irish more than me. I built a golf course in Ireland, tremendous course. The cows moved out of the way voluntarily. very respectful cows.
You know, the Irish invented whiskey and the Democrats invented hangovers. One gave the world something useful. The other one just leaves you broke with a headache.
That's very well said and very true. Probably the truest thing anyone's ever said. I'm going to steal that. And I won't give you credit.
They say everybody's Irish on St. Patty's Day, which is a lot like Congress. Everybody pretend to be something they ain't.
Joe Biden told me he's Irish. He also told me he graduated top of his class, ran with Corn Pop, and knows where he is at all times. So I don't believe any of it.
You know what the difference is between a leprechaun and a Democrat looking for a pot of gold? The leprechaun has a plan.
Winner. That's a winner right there. Happy St. Patrick's Day from your favorite president. I look terrible in green, but I make up for it in everything else.
Oh, Lord. We're totally authentic conversation.
No, yeah, that was not AI at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. All right. Okay, so we're getting more details from what happened with this 3-1. See, and I thought this 314-day stupidity, that was going to be the news on Monday. I had it a couple times on the show, and then we're going to move on. This is turning out to be a lot bigger. So now you've got up the line all the way up to the Attorney General's office. I wouldn't be surprised if we start hearing something from the governor's office in the next week or two. Now the state is basically saying, okay, we have to come in and help save the city from itself. You know, step one, police oversight board, returning the police to state oversight. And they're getting some stuff done. The Attorney General did a long form interview with KMOV's David Amalotti this week. Yeah, yesterday actually. And that's up on KMOV's YouTube page and their other social media pages. It's about a 9-minute video. The first half is Police Chief Robert Tracy. The second half is with Attorney General Catherine Hanaway. And she actually says there's reason to be optimistic after, of course, talking about the 314-day violence and how this cannot be accepted. But that's something people have been saying, I won't stand for this anymore. Well, what are you going to do about it? Mm-hmm. So here's how the new Attorney General is assessing it.
Who bears responsibility for preventing a night like this? I mean, is it city officials? Is it police? Is it state leadership?
I think we all have to own some of it. And I think that St. Louis is going to get safer because we have a prosecutor, a mayor, a police chief, a U.S. attorney, an attorney general, and a governor who are all committed to reducing violent crime. It was a terrible weekend, but the trend line is getting slightly better. We should not at all take solace from that. What we should do is, since we have this great cooperation now, we should step on the gas harder.
Okay, so what jumped out at me on that is when she referred to the great cooperation. Okay, the fact that there is a cooperation with the city from the police and from the mayor, not from the Board of Aldermen. Let's not kid ourselves. The St. Louis Board of Aldermen want no part of beefing up public safety in the city. They're still just way too ideologically driven. And Kara Spencer was on the Board of Aldermen, obviously, for a number of years. But being elected mayor, she's in a really tough spot, and a lot of the control and decision-making is just simply taken away from her. Whatever the state basically says you've got to do, she's going to have to do and figure out a way to make the numbers work and then take the heat in the city. Again, when she gets into the social issues and the LGBT stuff and all that, I'm generally going to disagree with her on about everything. Obviously, we're going to disagree on stuff like abortion and everything. But she's trying to get the city government back to just basic city services, which is what should have been done this whole time. What's happening right now is that when you look at especially what, culminated in the Tashara Jones administration and overlapping with Kimberly Gardner as circuit attorney all those years, what's happening is there is a massive mess that has to be cleaned up, and it's going to take time to do it. So the question is sending the message right now, hey, miscreants, we're coming after you.
Yeah, and it's in some ways very fortunate that the state finally took control of the city. I mean, I would not say that at every state. I would not want J.B. Pritzker being in charge of any given Illinois town's police force, but in this case, I think that does take a little bit of the load off so that she can focus on getting the city back up and running to the right degree. But again, the issue is that there are groups of people organized usually on social media that try to coordinate events like this, and they're going to have to get everybody involved if they really want to send that message that we're done playing these games.
Yeah, and they know that they can just simply overwhelm the police. And for years, the police were basically told, stand down and let the criminals do crime.
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially, and even when the police didn't want to stand down, they knew that making arrest would result in nothing because Kimberly Gardner had no plans to prosecute basically anybody.
Well, because all crime, no matter how violent and wanton it is, it's always socioeconomic factors, apparently. And that's the excuse that I've heard for a lot of these so-called catch and release programs, is that it doesn't do them any good to be in prison, so you might as well just let them back out. And that's not good for society.
Well, and I think Kimberly Gardner and Tashard Jones and Megan Green now, they're still so ideologically driven that what they're more worried about is the ideology than the actual things that affect people's lives.
Yes.
So you want to be an ideologue? Okay, go be a professor somewhere. Then you can say stupid stuff, and at least you don't hurt anybody, other than you may corrupt some young minds.
Yeah, start a blog.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Make a YouTube channel.
Write a Substack. Whatever. Don't make decisions that put your police force down over 200 full-time officers. Don't get into a position where the 911 call center is understaffed to the point where phone calls go unanswered entirely.
And that's what the big bizarre thing about the whole defund the police thing was, is that the main core complaint is that there are not enough good officers, but then by defunding them and getting rid of them, or at least at the very least not allowing their work and that they do and put themselves in harm's way actually matter with good convictions, then you're going to be stuck with the exact types of officers that are always going to view everybody as the biggest threat, that's going to handle it with as much force as they can legally get away with. And those are the kinds of cops that you guys were complaining about. So you're creating your own issues, and then you're also allowing criminals to keep victimizing people.
Yeah, and then you've got other parts of the region that have to respond to this. I mean, Dennis Hancock tonight in the St. Louis County meeting is going to be proposing a resolution opposing any type of merger between the city and the county. Sam Page on his way out, like, hey, on my way out, I hope that the city gets put back into the county. Well, there's nothing in that for the county. Nothing.
No.
You can say, well, you could have economies of scale and be more efficient in some things like infrastructure. You can do that now. You can sign contracts and do that now. But the reality is that if you add the city into the county, and I've said this before, I'm just going to put this out there as we kind of get ready for the next information segment, is that you even further load left-wing Democrats on a new county commission. And Sam Page even said you'd really probably want to move the county seat to St. Louis City. So Sam Page proving once again he doesn't give a crap about St. Louis County. Dennis Hancock's going to put this before the county council tonight. Whether or not they vote on it remains to be seen. Dennis is going to be on the show a little bit later on the week, gauging the reaction to that as well. But listen, it's one region. That doesn't mean we need to have one regional government, but what's happening in the city is absolutely affecting the rest of the St. Louis area.
Yeah, PMS says, I'm glad that the citizens of St. Louis City, that Jones didn't get a chance to spend the Rams money, that a bunch of stuff and temporary programs that didn't move the city out of their problems, and I couldn't agree more. And I'm sure that there are other people out there that would agree with this. They should definitely get involved with our Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, X. They can leave their comments, even if they disagree with us. We're tough-skinned most of the time. We can handle it. But look up Mike Ferguson in the Morning on your favorite streaming platforms, on your favorite podcasting platforms, and on the official Rumble.
Oh, dirty old town. Oh, dirty old town.
Craving seafood but worried it'll be too spicy or break the bank? La Juicy Seafood in O'Fallon has you covered. They're not your typical seafood joint. Choose from 5 spice levels, including not spicy, so everyone can enjoy our famous Cajun boils. Bring the family, doodle on the tables, enjoy the full bar with legendary margaritas, and feel right at home. La Juicy Seafood, 373 Winding Woods Drive, O'Fallon. Call 696-924-9171.
Jamie Allman here, tossing and turning over retirement worries. You're not alone. 3 out of 4 Americans share your concern about having enough saved. But here's the thing. A comfortable retirement isn't out of reach, even if you're planning for 30 or 40 years ahead. Every day, Jeff Portman from the Gemini Wealth Group helps people avoid the critical mistakes that can derail their retirement. Build your path to financial confidence. Visit GeminiWealthGroup.com or call Jeff directly at 314-888-0123.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA, SIPC.
Company.
Hanson's Tree Service at hansonstree.com is your one-stop shop for expert insured tree care and more in the greater St. Louis region and at the Lake of the Ozarks. Visit hansonstree.com for 24/7 emergency tree care, grinding and land clearing, awesome organic mulch, green resource recycling, and more. Tim Jones here to tell you that whether you're dealing with old man winter at your home or business in the St. Louis region or preparing your lake home for spring, call Hanson's to help you out. No job too big or too small. Mention NewsTalkSTL. Receive 10% off all tree care services. hansonstree.com, hansonstree.com.
Colombo and Company.
Debate and negotiations surrounding the government shutdown and the SAVE Act are heating up in Washington, D.C. this week. We'll get you the latest Tuesday, plus Crane Durham and Susie Moore.
Live and local, weekdays at 2
on NewsTalkSTL.
There's a county map to go in the wall of her. Let's stick in a shinty bowl, the brick, the brack, the crack, and all. Let's call it an Irish pub. Caffrey's hard, Kilkenny, a pound, the Guinness, pint, the cabbage, crap, the I don't wanna be paddy trap. We'll call it an Irish pub. To swear upon the holy book, the only crack you get is a slap in the air. To lock them burst your filthy mug. If you draw one more shot, I'll get me beer.
Hey folks, Jamie Allman here, waiting for you for the 3 Martini Lunch, the Common Sense Radio, the Allman Report on News Talk STL. Now back to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
There's a lot of cool Irish stuff around St. Louis.
Oh, I love it.
And some Scottish stuff, too. I mean, the Highland Games had a hiatus there for a little bit, but I think they're back now. They were back last year. I think they come back this year. The Irish, especially, gosh, where was it? It's where the old London Tea Room was, that area, which I don't think London Tea Room's there anymore. That's now a different restaurant. But they would have, every once in a while, just a big, Irish party out in the street and get a permit and block off the street. There'd be Irish dancing and Irish music and everything, just for no particular reason, just there. And you show up, and it was a lot of fun. It was great. There's a lot of that going on. Of course, Dogtown's going to be the big party starting in about, 15 minutes or so. I don't know what kind of turnout they're going to get. It's kind of chilly out there. But then again, after 3 or 4 green beers, do you really feel how chilly it is?
No. You just are happy to be in the moment and happy to be on your feet, hopefully not face down on the ground.
Well, hopefully not. I mean, you don't wake up and go, oh, this blanket's really nice. Well, you're in the ER, so don't that's why you're so warm.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy whatsoever. But they got the parade that's going on. I think I don't remember what time that starts, but a little bit later on today, so people are probably just showing up to that. A lot of people are going to be a little sluggish at work as they're more worried about having some fun with the St. Patrick's Day stuff. And I think the Dogtown one goes until about 6 o'clock, of course, with it being Tuesday, not going to be a late night revelry sort of situation. But yeah, of course, and what would be some of the better, I don't know, bars and grills or pubs and grills to go do St. Patrick's Day stuff?
I can imagine maybe PBR in Ballpark Village.
Ballpark Village. Well, that's always big. They've got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, on Manchester, I think Columbo's has an Irish theme down there in Manchester. I've never been there. I've driven by it a million times. But that looks like that would probably be fine. I mean, there was one on Kings Highway. I think it's still there, but they pissed off a lot of people back during the COVID shutdown nonsense. Because they went on social media and it's like, if you don't get a vaccine, we don't want you here. You're trying to kill people. You don't have your card. We don't want anything, and that haunted them for years. And by the way, I think it was about 6-7 months ago, I saw on social media that they're trying to find a new owner and they're selling because you went and basically trashed a bunch of people who were skeptical about that. And then you get probably just a lot of different places will have specials for St. Patrick's Day. I would think. I literally just got an email from a supplement store saying St. Patrick's Day sale. I'm like, what's that got to do with stuff? I'm good. I'm going to Nutrition Stop anyway, which actually I am. I'm going after a little bit later today. I got to stock up on a couple things, so I'm going to be out there this afternoon, or probably around 11:30 or 12.
101 is talking about a Cajun broil,
on St. Patrick's Day.
On St. Patrick's Day, it's not Mardi Gras season, is it?
No, we've already had Mardi Gras.
Why are you talking about a Cajun boil? Anyways, I've not noticed a very strong...
I'm not against it. I'm just saying,
It does sound pretty good, just not on St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
But no, I've not, back where I'm from, we do have quite a large community of at least partially Irish. I can't everybody in America says that they're like the most Irish person in the world, but I've yet to see results, showing the authenticity of that. But we did have some authentic, actual Irish-owned bars. I've not really seen a whole lot of an Irish presence in this area, so I couldn't even name one off the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, McGurk's is good. Maggie O'Brien's, there's a couple of those out there. Because I just did a quick look here, and I forgot about Hayden's.
There is a place that's over there by the little plaza with the baseball place. You know what I'm talking about? Like right up the road from the studio.
Our studio here?
Yeah, we've been there before the Lita Ford concert. What's that place called?
Where did we go before?
It was like a little pub type place, and it's in that little plaza where they have they just put that big golden baseball glove at the top of the roof of the building.
Oh, you're talking about Trainwreck.
Yeah, that's
Trainwreck down here.
That's got some Irish kind of vibes. It's pub vibes.
Yeah, it's pub vibe. It's not really Irish. Let's see here. I have never been to Danny's in Belleville, but yeah, there's actually a lot of like these here. McGurk's is going to be pretty popular. Maggie O'Brien's. There's going to be a lot going on there.
That one screams Irish.
Oh, yeah, and because there's one right across from the soccer stadium downtown. And so Gabe and I would go there sometimes after the lunch after the show for lunch, and we'd go get some food there. Let's see here. What else we got?
Is Gabe Irish? Pfeiffer. That sounds kind of Irish.
It might be.
Huh.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah. I mean, you've got Seamus McDaniels. Of course, that's a good one there. Oh, how did I forget Helen Fitzgerald's?
Oh, come on.
You can't forget that one.
Of course not.
And then, of course, I know that there's a few of them, but Llewellyn's always has good stuff. Ooh, maybe I may go to Llewellyn's. I'm going to check that out there as well. O'Connell's, you name it, Riley's. There's all sorts of places. So if you want the excuse to eat something that's not on your diet or drink something that your doctor tells you probably shouldn't have too much of, then today's your day to do it.
PMS says Foley's in Maplewood.
Oh, I've not been there, and I've lived in Richmond Heights for years. I've never been to Foley's.
And 101 is starting to tick me off now. He's saying he's not a traditionalist. He will eat chili for Thanksgiving. So, okay, you are not invited to the pub crawl. I mean, I like chili too. It's just not a Thanksgiving
or St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it's not a St. Patrick's Day thing either. Neither is a Cajun boy. Okay, they're. I'll leave the chat box to you now.
But any of those places are going to be, they're going to be pretty full day. But it's going to be a lot of fun, as well. So I mean, normally I try to stick to my diet real close and everything. I don't know. I may sneak out, get the workout in early, and go enjoy some food and whatever.
Might come in tomorrow feeling a little green.
No, I don't do that. I don't do that sort of thing anymore.
Because I went to, I think it's Cape Girardeau a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
they have this massive parade. I was blown away that there was even standing room. Does St. Louis have something? Do they do like a big parade around
that's
here,
what they did over the weekend.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's there is a really big one. But it's funny because there's a big St. Patrick's Day one, but it's so close to the Mardi Day, so close after Mardi Gras, that how do you compete with the Mardi? Because this is like St. Louis is like the third or fourth biggest city when it comes to celebrating Mardi Gras in the country.
Ooh,
it's massive.
Wow.
And then of course St. Patrick's Day is just what, a week or two after that. How do you follow that up? I mean, people are paraded out a little bit. But remember, Mardi Gras parade this year, it was rainy and it was really cold, and they still had a lot of people turn out because my daughter was working there because one of her jobs, she works over at Session Taco in Soulard, and so they had booth and they were serving food and drinks and stuff. And she was out in the rain all day long, and then she ended up sick a couple days after that. So, but yeah, Soulard and Dogtown and kind of those particular parts of St. Louis, that's where you're going to have the fun on these things like this.
So I was just out of curiosity, I was looking up activities for people that don't celebrate Paddy's Day because
Sure.
I kind of imagine you can't authentically celebrate Paddy's Day if you're not going to be belligerently drunk by the end of the night.
It's possible. You don't have to be.
And the Irish Times noted that there are a lot of museums that will have free entry or discounted entry.
Sure.
And that will provide you probably a less chaotic environment, hopefully. That volunteering could be a good idea. That there's also, every day of the week essentially needs somebody to help volunteer somewhere. So you might be able to find some English to hang out with.
That's right.
Because I can't imagine. I don't know. I don't want to stereotype the English. Indoor activities, doing puzzles. Okay, so this is just all.
Yeah, they're just like, okay, what's like stuff you could do anytime.
This just sounds almost insulting. It's like if you're not celebrating, you're a boring person that likes calm, quiet museums and explore puzzles. Okay, never mind. I thought we were going to find something fun. No?
You didn't find, yeah. So basically, to me, being at this going to be in the 30s or something, I doubt that I'm going to run down to Dogtown for anything there. But, I may run into, one of the Irish pubs and grab some lunch or early dinner or something like that before the baseball game tonight and do that. Why not?
Oh, yeah. You're probably more interested in the baseball than you are the Patrick's Day stuff.
Yeah, but the baseball game starts at 7 our time tonight. Of course, obviously we have to be asleep a little bit earlier. So I'll watch a few innings. I'll just do that at home tonight as well. Because if I go out to whatever place, bar and grill or pub and grill or whatever the place is, and I'm watching the game, I'm not going to want to leave till the game's over, till I see whether or not we win the championship. So if I'm going to do that, then I might as well be laying on my sofa.
And then you have to fight the crowds of people that are going to be raising havoc in the streets, right?
All right. So, but if somebody's like, no, Mike, there's this place you got to check out, well, email me. I may just show up. We'll see.